The greatest teachers who've ever lived have told us that the law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. Poets such as William Shakespeare, Robert Browning and William Blake delivered it in their poetry. Musicians such as Ludwig van Beethoven expressed it in their music. Artists such as Da Vinci depicted it in their paintings. Great thinkers including Socrates, Plato, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Pythagoras, Sir Francis Bacon, Sir Isaac Newton, Goethe and Victor Hugo shared it in their writings and teachings. Their names have been immortalized and their legendary existence has survived centuries. Religions such as Hinduism, Hermetic traditions, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, and civilizations such as the ancient Babylonians and Egyptians delivered it through their writings and stories. Recorded throughout the ages in all its forms, the law can be found in ancient writings throughout all the centuries. It was recorded in stone in 3000 BC. Even though some coveted this knowledge, and indeed they did, it was always there for anyone to discover. The law began at the beginning of time. It always has been and always will be. It's the law that determines the complete order in the universe, every moment of your life and every single thing you experience in your life. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are. The law of attraction is forming your entire life experience, and this all-powerful law is doing that through your thoughts. You are the one who calls the law of attraction into action, and you do it through your thoughts. In 1912, Charles Harnell described the law of attraction as the greatest and most infallible law upon which the entire system of creation depends. Bob Proctor says that wise people have always known this. You can go right back to the ancient Babylonians. They've always known it. It's a small, select group of people. The ancient Babylonians and their great prosperity have been well documented by scholars. They're also known for creating one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Through their understanding and application of the laws of the universe, they became one with the wealthiest racist in history. Bob Proctor says, why do you think that 1% of the population earns around 96% of all the money that's being earned? Do you think that's an accident? It's designed that way. They understand something. They understand the secret, and now you are being introduced to it. People who've drawn wealth into their lives have used the secret, whether consciously or unconsciously. They think thoughts of abundance and wealth, and they don't allow any contradictory thoughts to take root in their minds. Their predominant thoughts are of wealth. They only know wealth, and nothing else exists in their minds. Whether they're aware of it or not, their predominant thoughts of wealth are what brought the wealth to them. It's the law of attraction. A perfect example to demonstrate the secret and the law of attraction is this. You may know of people who've acquired massive wealth, lost it all, and within a short time acquired massive wealth again. What happened in these cases, whether they knew it or not, is that their dominant thoughts were on wealth. That's how they acquired it in the first instance. Then they allowed fearful thoughts of losing the wealth to enter their minds, until those fearful thoughts of loss became their dominant thoughts. They tipped the scales from thinking thoughts of wealth to thinking thoughts of loss, and so they lost it all. And once they lost it, however, the fear of that loss disappeared, and they tipped the scales back with dominant thoughts of wealth, and wealth returned. The law responds to your thoughts, no matter what they may be. The simplest way to look at the law of attraction is if you think of yourself as a magnet, and know that a magnet will attract to it. You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You contain a magnetic power within you that's more powerful than anything in the world, and this unfathomable magnetic power is emitted through your thoughts. Basically put, the law of attraction says that like attracts like, but we're really talking at a level of thought. The law of attraction says like attracts like, and so you think a thought and you are also attracting like thoughts to you. Here are more examples you may have experienced of the law of attraction in your own life. Have you ever started to think about something you were not happy about, and the more you thought about it, the worse it seemed? That's because you think one sustained thought. The law of attraction immediately brings more like thoughts to you. In a matter of minutes, you've become so full of many unhappy thoughts that the situation seems to be getting worse. The more you think about it, the more upset you become. You may have experienced attracting like thoughts when you listened to a song and then found that you couldn't get that song out of your head. The song just kept playing over and over in your mind. And when you listened to that song, even though you may not have realized it, you gave your full attention and focus of thought to it. As you did that, you were powerfully attracting more like thoughts of that song. And so the law of attraction moved into action and delivered more thoughts of that song over and over again. Our job as humans is to hold on to the thoughts of what we want, make it absolutely clear in our minds what we want. And from that, we start to invoke one of the greatest laws of the universe, and that's the law of attraction. You become what you think about most, but you also attract what you think about most. So your life right now is a reflection of your past thoughts. That includes all the great things and all the things you consider not so great. Since you attract what you think about most, it's easy to see what your dominant thoughts have been on every subject in your life, because that's what you've experienced until now. Now you're learning the secret, and with this knowledge, you can change everything. If you see it in your mind, you're going to hold it in your hand. If you can think about what you want in your mind and make it your dominant thought, you will bring it into your life. And this principle can be summed up in 3 simple words. Thoughts become things. Through this most powerful law, your thoughts become things in your life. Your thoughts become things. Say this over to yourself and let it seep into your consciousness and your awareness. Your thoughts become things. What most people don't understand is that a thought has a frequency. We can measure a thought. And if you're thinking that thought over and over and over again, if you're imagining in your mind having that brand new car, having the money that you need, building that company, finding your soulmate, if you're imagining what that looks like, then you're emitting a frequency on a consistent basis. Thoughts are sending out that magnetic signal that's drawing the parallel back to you. The predominant thought or the mental attitude is the magnet, and the law is that like attracts like. Consequently, the mental attitude will invariably attract such conditions as correspond to its nature. Thoughts are magnetic, and thoughts have a frequency. As you think, those thoughts are sent out into the universe, and they magnetically attract all like things that are on the same frequency. Everything sent out returns to the source, and that source is you. Think of it this way. We understand that a television station's transmission tower broadcasts via a frequency which is transformed into pictures on your television. Most of us don't really understand how it works, but we know that each channel has a frequency, and when we tune into that frequency, we can see those pictures on our television. We choose the frequency by selecting the channel, and then we receive the pictures broadcast on that channel. If we want to see different pictures on our television, we change the channel and tune into a new frequency. You are a human transmission tower, and you are more powerful than any television tower created on Earth. You are the most powerful transmission tower in the universe. Your transmission creates your life, and it creates your world. The frequency you transmit reaches beyond cities, beyond countries, beyond the world. It reverberates throughout the entire universe, and you are transmitting that frequency with your thoughts. The pictures you receive from the transmission of your thoughts are not on a television screen in your living room, they are the pictures of your life. Your thoughts create the frequency, they attract like things on that frequency, and then they're broadcast back to you as your life pictures. If you want to change anything in your life, change the channel and change the frequency by changing your thoughts. The vibrations of mental forces are the finest and consequently the most powerful in existence. See yourself living in abundance and you will attract it. It works every time with every person. As you think of yourself living in abundance, you are powerfully and consciously determining your life through the law of attraction. It's that easy. But then the most obvious question becomes, why isn't everyone living the life of their dreams? Well, here's the problem. Most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering why it shows up over and over again. The only reason why people don't have what they want is because they're thinking more about what they don't want than what they do want. Listen to your thoughts and listen to the words you're saying. The law is absolute and it makes no mistakes. An epidemic worse than any plague that humankind's ever seen has been raging for centuries. It's the don't want epidemic. People keep this epidemic alive when they predominantly think, speak, act and focus on what they don't want. But this is the generation that will change history because we're receiving the knowledge that can free us of this epidemic. It begins with you, and you can become a pioneer of this new thought movement by simply thinking and speaking about what you want. The law of attraction doesn't care whether you perceive something to be good or bad, or whether you don't want it or whether you do want it. It's responding to your thoughts. So if you're looking at a mountain of debt, feeling terrible about it, that's the signal you're putting out into the universe. I feel really bad because of all this debt I've got. You're just affirming it to yourself. You feel it on every level of your being, and that's what you're going to get more of. The law of attraction is a law of nature. It's impersonal and it doesn't see good things or bad things. It just receives your thoughts and reflects them back to you as your life experience. The law of attraction simply gives you whatever it is you're thinking about. The law of attraction is really obedient. When you think of the things you want and you focus on them with all your intention, then the law of attraction will give you exactly what you want every time. When you focus on the things you don't want, I don't want to be late, I don't want to be late, the law of attraction doesn't hear that you don't want it. It just manifests the things that you're thinking of. And so it's going to show up over and over and over again. The law of attraction is not biased to wants or don't wants. When you focus on something, no matter what it happens to be, you are really calling that into existence. So when you focus your thoughts on something you want and you hold that focus, you're in that moment summoning what you want with the mightiest power in the universe. The law of attraction doesn't compute don't or not or no or any other words of negation. As you speak words of negation, this is what the law of attraction is receiving. I don't want to spill something on this outfit. I want to spill something on this outfit and I want to spill more things. I don't want a bad haircut. I want bad haircuts. I don't want to be delayed. I want delays. I don't want to be I don't want this person to be rude to me. I want that person and more people to be rude to me. I don't want the restaurant to give away our table. I want the restaurant to give away our table. I don't want these shoes to hurt. I want these shoes to hurt. I can't handle all this work. I want more work than I can handle. I don't want to catch the flu. I want the flu and I want to catch more things. I don't want to argue. I want more arguing. Don't speak to me like that. I want you to speak to me like that and I want other people to speak to me like that too. The law of attraction is giving you what you're thinking about. End of. The law of attraction is always working. whether you believe it or understand it or not. The law of attraction is the law of creation. Quantum physicists tell us that the entire universe emerged from thought. You created your life through your thoughts, and the law of attraction in every single person does the same. It doesn't just work if you know about it. It has always been working in your life and every other person's life throughout history. When you become aware of this great law, then you become aware of how incredibly powerful you are to be able to think your life into existence. It's working as much as you're thinking. Anytime your thoughts are flowing, the law of attraction is working. When you're thinking about the past, the law of attraction is working. When you're thinking about the future, the law of attraction is working. It's an ongoing process. You don't press pause, you don't press stop. It's forever in action, as your thoughts are. Whether we realize it or not, we're thinking most of the time. If you're speaking or listening to someone, if you're thinking, you are thinking. If you're reading the newspaper or watching television, you're thinking. When you recall memories from your past, you're thinking. When you're considering something in your future, you're thinking. When you're driving, you're thinking. When you're getting ready in the morning, you're thinking. For many of us, the only time we're not thinking is when we're asleep. However, the forces of attraction are still operating on our last thoughts as we fall asleep. So make your last thoughts before going to sleep good thoughts. Creation is always happening. Every time an individual has a thought or a prolonged chronic way of thinking, they're in the creation process. Something is going to manifest out of those thoughts. So what you're thinking now is creating your future life. You create your life with your thoughts because you're always thinking, you're always creating. What you think about is, or what you focus on the most, is what will appear as your life. Like all laws of nature, there's utter perfection in this law. You create your life. Whatever you sow, you reap. Your thoughts are seeds, and the harvest you reap will depend on the seeds you plant. If you're complaining, the law of attraction will powerfully bring into your life more situations for you to complain about. If you're listening to someone else complain and focusing on that, sympathizing with them, agreeing with them in that moment, you are attracting more situations to yourself to complain about. The law is simply reflecting and giving back to you exactly what you're focusing on with your thoughts. With this powerful knowledge, you can completely change every circumstance and every event in your entire life just by changing the way you think. Story from Bill Harris. I had a student named Robert who was taking an online course I have, part of which entails email access to me. Robert was gay. He outlined all of the grim realities of his life in his emails to me. In his job, his co-workers ganged up on him. It was constantly stressful because of how nasty they were to him. When he walked down the street, he was accosted by homophobic people who wanted to abuse him in some way. He wanted to become a stand-up comedian, and when he did a stand-up comedy job, everybody heckled him about being gay. His whole life was one of unhappiness and misery, and it all focused around being attacked because he was gay. I began to teach him that he was focusing on what he did not want. I directed him back to his email that he sent me and said, read it again. Look at all the things you don't want that you're telling me about. I can tell you're very passionate about this, and when you focus on something with a lot of passion, it makes it happen even faster. Then he started taking this thing about focusing on what you want to heart, and he began really trying it. What happened within the next 6 to 8 weeks was an absolute miracle. All the people in his office who had been harassing him either transferred to another department, quit working at the company, or started to completely leave him alone. He began to love his job. When he walked down the street, nobody harassed him anymore. They just weren't there. And when he did his stand-up comedy routines, he started getting standing ovations, and nobody was heckling him. His whole life changed because he changed from focusing on what he didn't want, what he was afraid of, what he wanted to avoid, to focusing on what he did want. Robert's life changed because he changed his thoughts. He emitted a different frequency out in the universe. The universe must deliver the pictures of the new frequency, no matter how impossible the situation might seem. Robert's new thoughts became his new frequency, and the pictures of his entire life changed. Your life is in your hands. No matter where you are now, no matter what's happened in your life, you can begin to consciously choose your thoughts, and you can change your life. There's no such thing as a hopeless situation. Every single circumstance of your life can change. You attract to you the predominant thoughts that you're holding in your awareness, whether those thoughts are conscious or unconscious. That's the rub. So whether you've been aware of your thoughts in the past or not, now you are becoming aware. Right now, with the knowledge of the secret, you're waking up from a deep sleep and becoming aware. Aware of the knowledge, aware of the law, aware of the power you have through your thoughts. If you look very carefully when it comes to the secret and the power of our mind and the power of intention in our daily lives, it's all around us. All we have to do is open our eyes and look. You can see the law of attraction everywhere. You draw everything to yourself. The people, the job, the circumstances, the health, the wealth, the debt, the joy, the car that you drive, the community that you're in. And you've drawn them all to you like a magnet. What you think about, you bring about. Your whole life is a manifestation of the thoughts that go on in your head. This is a universe of inclusion, not exclusion. Nothing is excluded from the law of attraction. Your life is a mirror of the dominant thoughts you think. All living things on this planet operate through the law of attraction. The difference with humans is that they have a mind that can discern. They can use their free will to choose their thoughts. They have the power to intentionally think and create their entire life with their mind. Dr. Frederick Alan Wolf. I'm not talking to you from the point of view of wishful thinking or imaginary craziness. I'm talking to you from a deeper, basic understanding. Quantum physics really begins to point to this discovery. It says that you can't have a universe without mind entering into it, and that the mind is actually shaping the very thing that's being perceived. If you think about the analogy of being the most powerful transmission tower in the universe, you will see the perfect correlation with Dr. Wolf's words. Your mind thinks thoughts, and the pictures are broadcast back as your life experience. You not only create your life with your thoughts, but your thoughts add powerfully to the creation of the world. If you thought that you were insignificant and had no power in this world, then think again. Your mind is actually shaping the world around you. The amazing work and discoveries of the quantum physicists over the last 80 years has brought us to a greater understanding of unfathomable power of the human mind to create. Their work parallels the words of the world's great minds, including Carnegie, Emerson, Shakespeare, Bacon, Krishna, and Buddha. If you don't understand the law, it doesn't mean that you should reject it. You may not understand electricity, and yet you enjoy the benefits of it. I don't know how it works, but I do know this. You can cook a man's dinner with electricity, and you can also cook the man. Oftentimes, when people begin to understand the great secret, they become frightened of all the negative thoughts that they have. They need to be aware that it's been scientifically proven that an affirming thought is hundreds of times more powerful than a negative thought, and that eliminates a degree of worry right there. It really does take many negative thoughts and persistent negative thinking to bring something negative into your life. However, if you persist in thinking negative thoughts over a period of time, they will appear in your life. If you worry about having negative thoughts, you'll attract more worrying about your negative thoughts and multiply them at the same time. So decide right now that you're going to think only good thoughts. At the same time, proclaim to the universe that all your good thoughts are powerful and that any negative thoughts are just weak. Thank God that there's a time delay, that all of your thoughts don't come true instantly. We'd be in trouble if they did. The element of time delay serves you. It allows you to reassess, to think about what you want, and to make a new choice. All of your power to create your life is available right now, because right now is when you're thinking. If you've had some thoughts that will not be beneficial when they manifest, then right now you can change your thinking. You can erase your previous thoughts by replacing them with good thoughts. Time serves you because you can think new thoughts and emit a new frequency right now. You want to become aware of your thoughts and choose your thoughts carefully, and you want to have fun with this because you are the masterpiece of your own life. You are the Michelangelo of your own life. The David you are sculpting is you. One way to master your mind is to learn to quieten your mind. Without exception, every teacher in this book uses meditation as a daily practice. It wasn't until I discovered the secret that I realized how powerful meditation can be. Meditation quiets your mind, it helps you control thoughts, and it revitalizes your body. The great news is that you don't have to set aside hours to meditate. Just 3 to 10 minutes a day to begin with can be incredibly powerful for gaining control over your thoughts. To become aware of your thoughts, you can also set the intention, I am the master of my thoughts. Say it often, meditate on it, and as you hold to that intention, by the law of attraction, you must become that. You are now receiving the knowledge that will enable you to create the most magnificent version of you. The possibility of that version of you always exists on the frequency of the most magnificent version of you. Decide what you want to be, do, and have. Think the thoughts of it, emit the frequency, and your vision will become your life. Secret summaries. The great secret of life is the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that like attracts like. So when you think a thought, you're also attracting like thoughts to you. Thoughts are magnetic, and thoughts have a frequency. As you think thoughts, they're sent out into the universe, and they magnetically attract all like things that are on the same frequency. Everything sent out returns to the source, you. You are like a human transmission tower, transmitting a frequency with your thoughts. If you want to change anything in your life, change the frequency by changing your thoughts. Your current thoughts are creating your future life. What you think about the most or focus on the most will appear as your life. Your thoughts become things. Know that your positive thoughts are many, many times more powerful than your negative thoughts. And once you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, the natural time delay allows you to change those thoughts to more positive ones. Chapter 2. The Secret Made Simple. We live in a universe in which there are laws, just as there is a law of gravity. If you fall off a building, it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person, you are going to hit the ground. The law of attraction is a law of nature. It's as impartial and impersonal as the law of gravity is. It's precise and it's exact. Everything that surrounds you right now in your life, including the things you've been complaining about, you've attracted. Now I know at first blush that's going to be something that you hate to hear. You're going to immediately say, I didn't attract that car accident. I didn't attract that particular client who gives me a hard time. I didn't particularly attract that debt. And I'm here to be a little bit in your face and to say, yes, you did attract it. This is one of the hardest concepts to get, but once you've accepted it, it's life transforming. Often, When people first hear this part of the secret, they recall events in history where masses of lives were lost, and they find it incomprehensible that so many people could have attracted themselves to the event. But the law of attraction, they had to be on the same frequency as that event. It doesn't necessarily mean they thought of that exact event, but the frequency of their thoughts matched the frequency of the event. If people believe they can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they have no control over outside circumstances, those thoughts of fear, separation, and powerlessness, if persistent, can attract them to being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You have a choice right now. Do you want to believe that it's just the luck of the draw and bad things can happen to you at any time? Do you want to believe that you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time? That you have no control over circumstances? Or do you want to believe and know that your life experience is in your hands and that only all good can come into your life because that's the way you think? You have a choice, and whatever you choose to think will become your life experience. Nothing can come into your experience unless you summon it through persistent thoughts. Most of us attract by default. We just think that we don't have any control over it. Our thoughts and feelings are on autopilot, and so everything is brought to us by default. None of us would ever deliberately attract anything unwanted. Without the knowledge of the secret, it's easy to see how some unwanted things may have occurred in our lives or other people's lives. It simply came from a lack of awareness of the great creative power of our thoughts. Now, if this is your first time to hear this, it may feel like, oh, I have to monitor my thoughts now. This is going to be a lot of work. It will seem like that at first, but that's where the fun begins. The fun is that there are many shortcuts to the secret, and you get to choose the shortcuts that work best for you. Read on and you'll see how. It's impossible to monitor every thought we have. Researchers tell us that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine how exhausted you feel trying to control all 60,000 of those thoughts? Fortunately, there's an easier way, and it's our feelings. Our feelings let us know what we're thinking. The importance of feelings cannot be overstated. Your feelings are your greatest tool to help you create your life. Your thoughts are the primary cause of everything. Everything you see and experience in this world is a fact, and that includes your feelings. The cause is always your thoughts. The emotions are an incredible gift that we have to let us know what we're thinking. Your feelings tell you very quickly what you're thinking. Think about when your feelings suddenly took a dive, maybe when you heard some bad news. That feeling in your stomach or solar plexus was instant. So your feelings are an immediate signal for you to know what you're thinking. You want to become aware of how you're feeling and get in tune with how you're feeling, because this is the fastest way for you to know what you're thinking. You have two sets of feelings, good feelings and bad feelings, and you know the difference between the two because one makes you feel good and the other makes you feel bad. It's the depression, it's the anger, it's the resentment, it's the guilt. It's those feelings that don't make you feel empowered. Those are the bad feelings. No one can tell you whether you're feeling good or bad because you're the only one who knows how you're feeling at any time. If you're not sure how you're feeling, just ask yourself, how am I feeling? You can stop and ask this question often during the day, and as you do, you'll become more aware in general of how you're feeling. The most important thing for you to know is that it's impossible to feel bad and at the same time be having good thoughts. That would defy the law, because your thoughts cause your feelings. If you're feeling bad, it's because you're thinking thoughts that are making you feel bad. Your thoughts determine your frequency, and your feelings tell you immediately what frequency you're on. When you're feeling bad, you're on the frequency of drawing more bad things. The law of attraction must respond by broadcasting back to you more pictures of bad things and things that will make you feel bad. As you feel bad and don't make any effort to change your thoughts and feel better, you're in effect saying, bring me more circumstances that will make me feel bad. Bring it on. The flip side to this is that you have good emotions and good feelings. You know when they come because they make you feel good. Excitement, joy, gratitude, love. Imagine if we could feel that way every day. When you celebrate the good feelings, you'll draw to you more good feelings and things that make you feel good. It's really so simple. What am I attracting right now? Well, how do I feel? I feel good. Well, good. Okay, keep doing that. It's impossible to feel good and at the same time be having negative thoughts. If you're feeling good, it's because you're thinking good thoughts. You see, you can have whatever you want in life, no limits, but there's one catch. You have to feel good. And when you think about it, isn't that all you've ever wanted anyway? The law is indeed perfect. If you're feeling good, then you're creating a future that's on track with your desires. If you're feeling bad, you're creating a future that's off track with your desires. As you go about your day, the law of attraction is working in every second. Everything we think and feel is creating our future. If you're worried or in fear, then you're bringing more of that into your life throughout the day. When you're feeling good, you must be thinking good thoughts. So you're on track, and you're emitting a powerful frequency that's attracting back to you more good things that will make you feel good. Seize those moments when you're feeling good and milk them. Be aware that as you're feeling good, you're powerfully attracting more good things to you. And let's go one step further. What if your feelings are actually communication from the universe to let you know what you're thinking? Our feelings are a feedback mechanism to us about whether we're on track or not, whether we're on course or off course. Remember that your thoughts are the primary cause of everything, so when you think a sustained thought, it's immediately sent out into the universe. That thought magnetically attaches itself to the like frequency and then within seconds sends the reading of that frequency back to you through your feelings. Put another way, your feelings are communication back to you from the universe telling you what frequency you're currently on. Your feelings are your frequency feedback mechanism. When you're feeling good feelings, it's communication back from the universe saying, you're thinking good thoughts, good job. Likewise, when you're feeling bad, you're receiving communication back from the universe saying, you're thinking bad thoughts, change this. So when you're feeling bad, it's communication with the universe, and it's in fact saying, warning, change thinking now, negative frequency recording, change frequency, counting down to manifestation, warning. The next time you're feeling bad or feeling any negative emotion, listen to the signal you're receiving from the universe. In that moment, you're blocking your own good from coming to you because you're on a negative frequency. Change your thoughts and think about something good. And when the good feelings start to come, you'll know it was because you shifted yourself onto a new frequency, and the universe has confirmed it with better feelings. You're getting exactly what you're feeling about, not so much what you're thinking about. That's why people tend to spiral if they stub their toe getting out of bed. Their whole day goes just like that. They have no clue that a simple shifting of their emotions can change their entire day and life. If you start out having a good day and you're in that particular happy feeling, as long as you don't allow something to change your mood, you're going to continue to attract, by the law of attraction, more situations and people that sustain that happy feeling. We've all experienced those days or times when one thing after another goes wrong. The chain reaction began with one thought, whether you were aware of that or not. The one bad thought attracted more bad thoughts, the frequency locked in, and eventually something went wrong. Then, as you reacted to that one thing going wrong, you attracted more things going wrong. Reactions just attract more of the same, and the chain reaction must keep occurring until you move yourself off that frequency by intentionally changing your thoughts. You can shift your thoughts to what you want. Receive confirmation through your feelings that you changed your frequency, and the law of attraction will grab hold of that new frequency and send it back to you as the new pictures of your life. Now here is where you can harness your feelings and use them to turbocharge what you want in life. You can purposely use your feelings to transmit an even more powerful frequency by adding feeling to what you're wanting. You can begin right now to feel healthy. You can begin to feel prosperous. You can begin to feel the love that's surrounding you, even if it's not there. And what will happen is the universe will correspond to the nature of your song. The universe will correspond to the nature of that inner feeling and manifest, because that's the way you feel. So, what are you feeling now? Take a few moments to think about how you feel. If you're not feeling as good as you'd like to, focus on feeling your feelings inside and purposefully lift them. As you focus intensely on your feelings with the intention to lift yourself, you can powerfully elevate them. One way is to close your eyes, shutting out the distractions, focus on your feelings inside, and smile for a minute. Your thoughts and your feelings create your life. It will always be that way, guaranteed. Just like the law of gravity, the law of attraction never slips up. You don't see pigs flying because the law of gravity made a mistake and forgot to apply gravity to pigs that day. Likewise, there are no exclusions to the law of attraction. If something came to you, you drew it with prolonged thought. The law of attraction is precise. It's hard to swallow, but when we begin to open ourselves up to that, the ramifications are awesome. It means that whatever thought has done in your life, it can be undone through a shift in your awareness. You have the power to change anything because you're the one who chooses the thoughts, and you are the one who feels your feelings. You can create your own universe as you go along. It's really important that you feel good, because this feeling good is what goes out as a signal into the universe and starts to attract more of itself to you. So the more you can feel good, the more you'll attract the things that help you feel good, and you're able to keep bringing you up higher and higher. When you're feeling down, did you know that you can change it in an instant? Put on a beautiful piece of music or start singing. That'll change your emotion. Or think of something beautiful. Think of a baby or something that you truly love and dwell on it. Really keep that thought in your mind. Block everything out but that thought. I guarantee you'll start to feel good. Make a list of some secret shifters to have up your sleeve. By secret shifters, I mean things that can change your feelings in a snap. It might be beautiful memories, future events, funny moments, nature, a person you love, your favorite music. Then, if you find yourself angry or frustrated or not feeling good, turn to your secret shifters list and focus on one of them. Different things will shift you at different times. So if one doesn't work, go to another. It only takes a moment or two of shifting focus to shift yourself and shift your frequency. The principle of feeling good applies to your family pets, for instance. Animals are wonderful because they put you in a great emotional state. When you feel love for your pet, the great state of love will bring goodness into your life, and what a gift that is. It's the combination of thought and love which forms the irresistible force of the law of attraction. There's no greater power in the universe than the power of love. The feeling of love is the highest frequency you can emit. If you could wrap every thought in love, if you could love everything and everyone, your life would be transformed. In fact, some of the great thinkers of the past referred to the law of attraction as the law of love. And if you think about it, you'll understand why. If you think unkind thoughts about someone else, you will experience those unkind thoughts manifested. You cannot harm another person with your thoughts. You only harm you. If you think thoughts of love, guess who receives the benefits? You. So if your predominant state is love, the law of attraction, or the law of love, responds with the mightiest force because you are on the highest frequency possible. The greater the love you feel and emit, the greater the power you're harnessing. The principle which gives the thought the dynamic power to correlate with its object and therefore master every adverse human experience is the law of attraction, which is another name for love. This is an eternal and fundamental principle inherent in all things, in every system of philosophy, in every religion, and in every science. There's no getting away from the law of love. It's feeling that imparts vitality to thought. Feeling is desire, and desire is love. Thought impregnated with love becomes invincible. Once you begin to understand and truly master your thoughts and feelings, that's when you see how you create your own reality. That's where your freedom is, and that's where all your power is. Marci Shimoff shared a wonderful quote from Albert Einstein. The most important question any human being can ask themselves is this a friendly universe? Knowing the law of attraction is the only answer. The only answer to give is yes, the universe is friendly. Why? Because when you answer in this way, by law of attraction, you must experience that. Albert Einstein posed this powerful question because he knew the secret. He knew by asking the question it would force us to think and make a choice. He gave us a great opportunity just by posing the question. To take Einstein's intention even further, you can affirm and proclaim, this is a magnificent universe. The universe is bringing me all good things. The universe is conspiring for me in all things. The universe is supporting me in everything I do. The universe meets all my needs immediately. Know that this is a friendly universe. Jack Canfield. Since I learned the secret and started applying it to my life has become truly magical. I think the kind of life that everybody dreams of is one I live on a day-to-day basis. I live in a $4.5 million mansion. I have a wife to die for. I get to vacation in all fabulous spots of the world. I've climbed mountains, I've explored, I've been on safaris, and all of this happened and continues to happen because of knowledge of how to apply this secret. Life can be absolutely phenomenal, and it should be, and it will be, when you start using the secret. This is your life, and it's been waiting for you to discover it. Up until now, you may have been thinking that life is hard and a struggle, and so by the law of attraction, you will have experienced life to be hard and a struggle. Begin right now to shout to the universe, life is so easy, life is so good, and all good things come to me. There is a truth deep down inside of you that's been waiting for you to discover it, and that truth is this. You do deserve all good things life has to offer. You know that inherently because you feel awful when you're experiencing the lack of good things. All good things are your birthright. You are the creator of you, and the law of attraction is your magnificent tool to create whatever you want in your life. Welcome to the magic of life and the magnificence of you. Secret summaries from Chapter 2. The law of attraction is the law of nature. It's as impartial as the law of gravity. Nothing can come into your experience unless you summon it through persistent thoughts. To know what you're thinking, ask yourself how you're feeling. Emotions are valuable tools that instantly tell us what we're thinking. It's impossible to feel bad and at the same time have good thoughts. Your thoughts determine your frequency, and your feelings tell you immediately what frequency you're on. When you feel bad, you're on the frequency of drawing more bad things. When you feel good, you are powerfully attracting more good things to you. Secret shifters, such as pleasant memories, nature, or your favorite music, can change your feelings and shift your frequency in an instant. The feeling of love is the highest frequency you can emit. The greater the love you feel and emit, the greater the power you are harnessing. How to use the secret. You are a creator, and there's an easy process to create using the law of attraction. The greatest teachers and avatars have shared the creative process through their wondrous work in myriad forms. Some great teachers created stories to demonstrate how the universe works. The wisdom contained in their stories has been handed down through the centuries and has become legendary. Many people living today don't realize that the essence of these stories is the very truth of life. If you think about Aladdin and his lamp, Aladdin picks up the lamp, dusts it off, and out pops a genie. The genie always says one thing: "Your wish is my command." The story now goes that there are 3 wishes, but if you trace the story back to its origins, there's absolutely no limit whatsoever to the amount of wishes. Think about that one. Now let's take this metaphor and apply it to your life. Remember, Aladdin is the one who always asks for what he wants. Then you've got the universe at large, which is the genie. Traditions have called it so many things: your holy guardian angel, your higher self. We can put any label on it, and you choose the one that works best for you. But every tradition has told us there's something bigger than us. And the genie always says one thing: "Your wish is my command." This wonderful story demonstrates how your whole life and everything in it has been created by you. The genie has simply answered your every command. The genie is the law of attraction, and it's always present and always listening to everything you think, speak, and every act. The genie assumes that everything you think about, you want. That everything you speak about, you want. That everything you act upon is what you want. You are the master of the universe, and the genie is there to serve you. The genie never questions your commands. You think it, and the genie immediately begins to leverage the universe through people, circumstances, and events to fulfill your wish. The creative process used in The Secret, which was taken from the New Testament in the Bible, is an easy guideline for you to create what you want in 3 simple steps. The first step is to ask. Make a command to the universe. Let the universe know what you want. The universe responds to your thoughts. And what do you really want? Sit down and write it out on a piece of paper. Write it in the present tense. You might begin by writing, "I'm so happy and grateful now that... ... and then explain how you want your life to be in every area. You get to choose what you want, but you must get clear about what it is that you want. This is your work. If you're not clear, then the law of attraction can't bring you what you want. You'll be sending out a mixed frequency, and you can only attract mixed results. For the first time in your life, perhaps, work out what it is you really want. Now that you know you can have, be, or do anything, that there aren't any limits. What do you want? Asking is the first step in the creative process, so make it a habit to ask. If you don't make a choice and you don't know which way to go, ask. You should never be stumped on anything in your life. Just ask. This can be really fun. It's like having the universe as your catalogue. You flip through it and say, "I'd like to have this experience, and I'd like to have that product, and I'd like to have a person like that in my life." It is you placing the order with the universe. It's really that easy. You don't have to ask over and over again, just ask once. It's exactly like placing an order from a catalogue. You only ever order something once. You don't place an order and then doubt the order's been received and so place the order again, and then again and again. You order once. It's the same with the creative process. Step 1 is simply your step to get clear about what you want. As you get clear in your mind, you have asked. Step 2, believe. Believe that it's already yours. Have what I love to call unwavering faith, believing in the unseen. You must believe that you have received. You must know that what you want is yours the moment you ask. You must have complete and utter faith. If you placed an order from a catalogue, you relax. Know that you're going to receive what you ordered and get on with your life. See the things that you want as already yours. Know that they will come to you at need. Then let them come. Don't fret and worry about them. Don't think about your lack of them. Think of them as yours, as belonging to you, as already in your possession. In the moment you ask, and believe and know you already have it in the unseen, the entire universe shifts to bring it into the seen. You must act, speak, and think as though you are receiving it now. Why? The universe is a mirror, and the law of attraction is mirroring back to you your dominant thoughts. So doesn't it make sense that you have to see yourself as receiving it? If your thoughts contain noticing that you don't have it yet, you'll continue to attract not having it yet. You must believe that you have it already. You must believe you have received it. You have to emit the feeling frequency of having received it to bring those pictures back as your life. And when you do that, the law of attraction will powerfully move all circumstances, people, and events for you to receive. When you book a holiday, order a brand new car, or buy a house, you know those things are yours. You wouldn't go and book another holiday for the same time or purchase another car or house. If you won a lottery or received a large inheritance, even before you physically have the money, you know it's yours. That's the feeling of believing it's yours. That's the feeling of believing you have it already. That's the feeling of believing you have received. Claim the things you want by feeling and believing that they're yours. When you do that, the law of attraction will powerfully move all circumstances, people, and events for you to receive. How do you get yourself to a point of believing? Well, start make-believing. Be like a child and make believe. Act as if you have it already. As you make believe, you'll begin to believe you have received. The genie is responding to your predominant thoughts all the time, not just the moment you ask. That's why, after you've asked, you must continue to believe and know. Have faith. Your belief that you have it, that undying faith, is your greatest power. When you believe that you're receiving, get ready and watch the magic begin. You can have what you want if you know how to form the mold for it in your own thoughts. There's no dream that may not come true if you but learn to use the creative force working through you. The methods that work for one will work for all. The key to power lies in using what you have, freely, fully, and thus opening wide your channels for a more creative force to flow through you. The universe will start to rearrange itself to make it happen for you. Most of us have never allowed ourselves to want what we truly want because we can't see how it's going to manifest. But if you do just a little research, it's going to become evident to you that anyone that ever accomplished anything did not know how they were going to do it. They only knew they were going to do it. You don't need to know how it's going to come about. You don't need to know how the universe will rearrange itself. How it will happen, how the universe will bring it to you, is not your concern or job. Allow the universe to work for you. When you're trying to work out how it will happen, you're emitting the frequency that contains a lack of faith, and you don't believe you have it already. You think you have to do it, and you don't believe in the universe doing it for you. The how is not your part in the creative process. You don't know how. It will be shown to you. You will attract the way. Most of the time, when we don't see the things that we've requested, we get frustrated, we get disappointed, and we begin to become doubtful. The doubt brings about a feeling of disappointment. Take that doubt and shift it. Recognize that feeling and replace it with a feeling of unwavering faith. I know that it's on its way. Step 3, receive. Step 3 and the final step in the process is to receive. Begin to feel wonderful about it. Feel the way you feel once it arrives. Feel it now. And in this process, it's important to feel good, to be happy, because when you're feeling good, you're putting yourself in the frequency of what you want. This is a feeling universe. If you just intellectually believe something, but you have no corresponding feeling underneath that, you don't necessarily have enough power to manifest what you want in your life. You have to feel it. So ask once, believe you have received, and all you have to do to receive it is feel good. And when you're feeling good, you're on the frequency of receiving. You're on the frequency of all good things coming to you, and you will receive what you've asked for. You wouldn't ask for anything unless it was going to make you feel good in the receiving of it, would you? So get yourself on the feel-good frequency, and you will receive. A fast way to get yourself on that frequency is to say, I am receiving now. I'm receiving all the good in my life now. I'm receiving whatever it is you asked for right now. And feel it as though you have already received it. A dear friend of mine, Marcy, is one of the greatest manifestors I've seen, and she feels everything. She feels what it would be like to have what she's asking for. She feels everything into existence. She doesn't get caught up in how, when, or where. She just feels it and then manifests. So, feel good now. When you turn that fantasy into a fact, you're in the position to build bigger and bigger fantasies, and that is the creative process. Whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. What things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. The law of attraction, the study and practice of the law of attraction, is just figuring out what will help you generate the feelings of having it now. So go and test drive that car, go and shop for that home, get in the house. Do whatever you have to do to generate the feelings of having it now, and remember them. Whatever you can do to achieve that will help you to literally attract it. When you feel as though you have it now, and that feeling is so real that it's like you have it already, you are believing that you have received, and you will receive. It could be you wake up and it's just there, it's manifested. Or you might get some inspired idea of some action to take. You certainly shouldn't be saying, well, I could do it this way, but I would hate that. You're not on the right track if that's the case. Action will sometimes be required, but if you're really doing it in line with what the universe is trying to bring you, it's going to feel joyous. And you're going to feel so alive, time will just stop. You could do it all day. Action is a word that can imply work to some people, but inspired action will not feel like work at all. The difference between inspired action and action is this. Inspired action is when you're acting to receive. If you're in action to try and make it happen, then you've slipped backwards. Inspired action is effortless, and it feels wonderful because you're on the frequency of receiving. Imagine life as a fast-moving river. When you're acting to make something happen, it'll feel as if you're going against the current of the river. It'll feel hard and like a struggle. When you're acting to receive from the universe, you'll feel as if you're flowing with the current of the river. It'll feel effortless. That's the feeling of inspired action, and being in the flow of the universe and life. Sometimes you won't even be aware that you used action until after you've received, because the acting felt so good. You will then look back and see the wonder and matrix of how the universe carried to you what you wanted and brought what you wanted to you. The universe likes speed. Don't delay, don't second guess, don't doubt. When the opportunity is there, when the impulse is there, when the intuitive nudge from within is there, act. That's your job, and that's all you have to do. Trust your instincts. It's the universe inspiring you. It's the universe communicating with you on the receiving frequency. If you have an intuitive or instinctive feeling, follow it, and you'll find that the universe is magnetically moving you to receive what you've asked for. You'll attract everything that you require. If it's money you need, you'll attract it. If it's people you need, you'll attract it. If it's a certain book you need, then you'll attract it. You've got to pay attention to what you're attracted to, because as you hold images of what you want, you're going to be attracted to things and they're going to be attracted to you. But it literally moves into physical reality with and through you, and it does that by law. Remember that you are a magnet, attracting everything to you. When you become clear in your mind about what you want, you have to become a magnet to draw those things to you. And those things you want are magnetized to you in return. The more you practice and begin to see the law of attraction bringing things to you, the greater the magnet you'll become, because you will add the power of faith, belief, and knowing. You can start with nothing, and out of nothing and out of no way, a way will be made. All you require is you and your ability to think things into being. Everything that's been invented and created throughout history of humankind began with a thought. From that one thought, a way was made, and it manifested from the invisible into the visible. Think of a car driving through the night. The headlights only go 100 or 200 feet forwards, and you can make it all the way from California to New York driving through the dark, because all you have to see is the next 200 feet. And that's how life tends to unfold before us. If we just trust that the next 200 feet will unfold after that, and the next 200 feet will unfold after that, your life will keep unfolding. And it will eventually get you to the destination of wherever it is you want and whatever it is you want, because you want it. Trust the universe. Trust and believe and have faith. I truly had no idea how I was going to bring to the knowledge of The Secret onto the movie screen. I just held on to the outcome of the vision. I saw the outcome clearly in my mind. I felt it with all my might, and everything that we needed to create The Secret came to us. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. The Secret and your body. Let's look at the creative process for those who feel that they're overweight and want to lose weight. The first thing to know is that if you focus on losing weight, you'll attract back having to lose more weight. So get having to lose weight out of your mind. It's the very reason why diets don't work. Because you're focused on losing weight, you must attract back continually having to lose weight. The second thing to know is that the condition of being overweight was created through your thoughts to it. To put it in the most basic terms, if someone's overweight, it came from them thinking fat thoughts, whether that person was aware of it or not. A person can't think thin thoughts and be fat. It completely defies the law of attraction. Whether people have been told they have a slow thyroid, a slow metabolism, or their body size is hereditary, these are all disguises for thinking fat thoughts. If you accept any of these conditions as applicable to you and you believe it, it must become your experience and you'll continue to attract being overweight. After I had my 2 daughters, I was overweight, and I know it came from listening to and reading the messages that it's hard to lose weight after having a baby, and even harder after the second baby. I summoned exactly that to me with those fat thoughts, and it became my experience. I really beefed up. And the more I noticed how I beefed up, the more beefing up I attracted. With a small frame, I became a hefty 143 pounds, all because I was thinking fat thoughts. The most common thought that people hold, and I held it too, is that food was responsible for my weight gain. That's a belief that doesn't serve you, and in my mind, now it's complete rubbish. Food is not responsible for putting on weight. It's your thoughts that food is responsible for putting on your weight that actually has food put on weight. Remember, thoughts are the primary cause of everything, and the rest is effects from those thoughts. Think perfect thoughts, and the result must be perfect weight. So let go of those limiting thoughts. Food can't cause you to put on weight unless you think it can. The definition of the perfect weight is the weight that feels good for you. No one else's opinion counts. It's the weight that feels good for you. You most likely know of someone who's thin and eats like a horse, and they proudly declare, "I can eat whatever I want and I'm always the perfect weight." And so the genie of the universe says, "Your wish is my command." So to attract the perfect weight and body using the creative process, follow these steps. Step 1. Ask. Get clear on the weight you want to be. Have a picture in your mind of what you'll look like when you have become that perfect weight. Get pictures of yourself at your perfect weight if you have them, and look at them often. If not, get pictures of the body you would like to have and look at those often. Step 2. Believe. You must believe you'll receive and that the perfect weight is yours already. You must imagine, pretend, act as if, make believe that the perfect weight is yours. You must see yourself as receiving that perfect weight. Write out your perfect weight and place it over the readout of your scale, or don't weigh yourself at all. Don't contradict what you've asked for with your thoughts, words and actions. Don't buy clothes at your current weight. Have faith and focus on the clothes you're going to buy. Attracting the perfect weight is the same as placing an order with the catalogue of the universe. You look through the catalogue, choose the perfect weight, place your order, and then it's delivered to you. So make it your intention to look for, admire, and inwardly praise people with your idea of the perfect weight bodies. Seek them out, and as you admire them and feel the feelings of that, you are summoning it to you. If you see people who are overweight, don't observe them, but immediately switch your mind to the picture of you in your perfect body and feel it. Step 3. Receive. You must feel good. You must feel good about you. This is important because you can't attract your perfect weight if you feel bad about your body now. If you feel bad about your body, that's a powerful feeling, and you'll continue to attract feeling bad about your body. You'll never change your body if you're critical of it and find fault with it. And in fact, you will attract more weight to you. So praise and bless every square inch of your body. Think about all the perfect things about you. As you think perfect thoughts, as you feel good about you, you're on the frequency of your perfect weight and you're summoning perfection. Wallace Wattles shares a wonderful tip about eating in one of his books. He recommends that when you eat, make sure you're entirely focused on the experience of chewing the food. Keep your mind present and experience the sensation of eating food. Don't allow your mind to drift on other things. Be present in your body and enjoy all the sensations of chewing the food in your mouth and swallowing it. Try it next time you're eating. And when you're completely present when you eat, the flavor of the food is so intense and magnificent. And when you let your mind drift, the flavor virtually disappears. I'm convinced that if we eat our food in the present, entirely focused on the pleasurable experience of eating, the food is assimilated into our bodies perfectly, and the result in our bodies must be perfection. The end of the story about my own weight is that I now maintain my perfect weight of 116 pounds and I can eat whatever I want. So, focus on your perfect weight. How long does all this take? Another thing people wonder about is how long will it take to manifest the car, the relationship, the money? Well, there isn't any rule book that says it's going to take 30 minutes or 3 days or 30 days. It's more a matter of you being in alignment with the universe itself. Time is just an illusion. Einstein told us that. If this is the first time you've heard of it, you may find it a hard concept to get your head around because you see everything happening, one after the other. What quantum physicists and Einstein tell us is that everything's happening simultaneously. If you can understand that there is no time and accept that concept, then you'll see that whatever you want in the future already exists. If everything's happening at one time, then the perfect parallel of you with what you want is already in existence. It takes no time for the universe to manifest what you want. Any time delay you experience is due to your delay in getting to the place of believing, knowing, and feeling that you already have it. It's you getting yourself on the frequency of what you want. When you're on that frequency, then what you want will appear. Remember that size is nothing to the universe. It's no more difficult to attract on a scientific level something that we consider huge to something that we consider infinitesimally small. The universe does everything with zero effort. The grass doesn't strain to grow. It's effortless. It just does it. It's great design. It's all about what's going on in your mind. It's about what we put in place, saying, this is big, it's going to take some time, and this is small, I'll give it an hour. Those are our rules that we define. There are no rules according to the universe. You provide the feelings of having it now, it will respond, whatever it is. There's no time for the universe, and there's no size for the universe. It is easy to manifest $1 as it is to manifest $1 million. It's the same process, and the only reason why one may come faster and the other may take longer is because you thought $1 million was a lot of money and that $1 was not very much. Some people have an easier time with little things, and so we sometimes say, start with something small like a cup of coffee. Make it your intention to attract a cup of coffee today. Hold an image of taking an old friend that you haven't seen for a long time. Somehow or other, somebody's going to start talking to you about that person. That person's going to phone you, or you'll get a letter from them. Starting with something small is an easy way to experience the law of attraction with your own eyes. Let me share a story with you of a young man who did exactly that. He watched The Secret and he decided to start with something small. He created a picture of a feather in his mind, and he made sure this feather was unique. He created particular markings on the feather so he'd know without any doubt that if he saw this feather, it had come to him through his intentional use of the law of attraction. 2 days later, he was about to walk into a high-rise building on a street in New York City. He said he didn't know why, but he just happened to look down, and there, at his feet, at the entrance to a high-rise building in New York, was the feather. Not just any feather, but the exact feather he'd imagined. It was identical to the picture he created in his mind, with all of its unique markings. In that moment, he knew, without a shred of doubt, that this was the law of attraction working in all its glory. He realized his amazing ability and power to attract something to himself through the power of his mind. With total faith, he's now moved on to creating much bigger things. People are amazed at how I can line up parking spaces, says David Shermer. I've done this right from when I first understood about The Secret. I would visualize a parking space exactly where I wanted it, and 95% of the time it would be there for me and I'd just pull straight in. 5% of the time I'd have to wait just a minute or two and the person would pull out and I'd pull in. I do that all the time. Now, you might understand why a person who says, I always get a parking spaces, gets them. Or why a person who says, I'm really lucky, I win things all the time, wins one thing after another all the time. These people expect it. Begin to expect great things, and as you do, you'll create your life in advance. Creating your day in advance. You can use the law of attraction to create your whole life in advance, right down to the next thing you're doing today. Prentice Mulford, a teacher whose writings shares so many insights into the law of attraction and how to use it, demonstrates how important it is to think your day in advance. When you say to yourself, I'm going to have a pleasant visit or a pleasant journey, you're literally sending the elements and forces ahead of your body that will arrange things to make your visit or journey pleasant. When before the visit or journey or shopping trip you are in a bad humour or fearful or apprehensive of something unpleasant, you're sending unseen agencies ahead of you which will make some kind of unpleasantness. Our thoughts, in other words, our state of mind, is ever at work fixing up things good or bad in advance. Prentice Mulford wrote these words in the 1870s. You can clearly see how important it is to think in advance every event in every day. You will no doubt have experienced the opposite of thinking your day in advance. And one of the repercussions of that is having to rush and hurry. If you're rushing and hurrying, know that those thoughts and actions are based in fear, the fear of being late, and you are fixing up bad things ahead for you. As you continue to rush, you'll attract one bad thing after another into your path. In addition to that, the law of attraction is fixing up more future circumstances that will cause you to rush and hurry. You must stop and move yourself off that frequency. Take a few moments and shift yourself if you don't want to summon more bad things to you. Many people, particularly in Western societies, chase time and complain that they don't have enough time. Well, as someone says they don't have enough time, so it must be by the law of attraction. If you have been chasing your tail with thoughts of not having enough time, from now on declare emphatically, I have more than enough time, and change your life. You can also turn waiting into a powerful time to create your future life. Next time you're in a situation where you're waiting, seize that time and imagine having all the things you want. You can do this anywhere, anytime. Turn every life situation into a positive one. Make it a daily habit to determine every event in your life in advance through your thoughts. Set the universal forces ahead of you in everything you do and everywhere you go by thinking the way you want it to go in advance. Then you're creating your life intentionally. Summary. Like Aladdin's genie, the law of attraction grants our every command. The creative process helps you create what you want in 3 simple steps. Ask, believe, and receive. Asking the universe for what you want is the opportunity to get clear about what you want. As you get clear in your mind, you have asked. Believing involves acting, speaking, and thinking as though you've already received what you asked for. When you emit the frequency of having received it, the law of attraction moves people, events, and circumstances for you to receive. Receiving involves feeling the way you'll feel once your desire has manifested. Feeling good now puts you on the frequency of what you want. To lose weight, don't focus on losing weight. Instead, focus on your perfect weight. Feel the feelings of your perfect weight, and you will summon it to you. It takes no time for the universe to manifest what you want. It's as easy to manifest $1 as it is to manifest $1 million. Starting with something small, like a cup of coffee or parking spaces, is an easy way to experience the law of attraction in action. Powerfully intend to attract something small. As you experience the power you have to attract, you will move on to creating much bigger things. Create your day in advance by thinking the way you want it to go, and you will create your life intentionally. Chapter 4. A lot of people feel stuck or imprisoned or confined by their current circumstances. Whatever your circumstances are right now, that's only your current reality, and current reality will begin to change as a result of beginning to use the secret. Your current reality or your current life is a result of the thoughts you have been thinking. All of that will totally change as you begin to change your thoughts and your feelings. That a man can change himself and master his own destiny is the conclusion of every mind who is wide awake to the power of right thought. When you want to change your circumstances, you must first change your thinking. Every time you look inside your mail expecting to see a bill, guess what? It'll be there. Each day you go and look at your email looking for that bill. You're never expecting anything great. You're thinking debt, so you're expecting debt. So debt must show up, so you won't think you're crazy. And every day you confirm your thought. Is debt going to be there? Yes, debt is there. Is debt going to be there? Yep, there it is again. And why? Because you expected debt to be there, so it showed up. Because the law of attraction is always being obedient to your thoughts. Do yourself a favor. Expect a check. Expectation is a powerful, attractive force because it draws things to you. As Bob Proctor says, desire connects you with the thing desired, and expectation draws it into your life. Expect the things you want, and don't expect the things you don't want. What do you expect now? Most people look at their current state of affairs and they say, "This is who I am." It's not who you are, it's who you were. Let's say, for instance, that you don't have enough money in your bank account, or you don't have the relationship that you want, or your health and fitness are not up to par. That's not who you are. That's the residual outcome of your past thoughts and actions. So we're constantly living in this residual, if you will, of the thoughts and actions we've taken in the past. When you look at the current state of affairs and define yourself by that, then you doom yourself to have nothing more but the same in future. All we have is a result of what we have thought. I would like to share a process with you that came from a great teacher, Neville Goddard, in a lecture he delivered in 1954 entitled The Pruning Shears of Revision. This process has had a profound effect on many people's lives. Neville recommends at the end of every day, before you go to sleep, to think through the events of the day. If any events or moments didn't go the way you wanted, Replay them in your mind in a way that thrills you. As you recreate those events in your mind exactly as you want, you're cleaning up your frequency from the day and you're emitting a new signal and frequency for tomorrow. You have intentionally created new pictures for your future. It's never too late to change the pictures. What can you do right now to begin to turn your life around? The very first thing is to start making a list of things to be grateful for. This shifts your energy and starts to shift your thinking. Whereas before this exercise, you might be focusing on what you don't have, your complaints and your problems. You go in a different direction when you do this exercise. You start to be grateful for all the things that you feel good about. If it's a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe, consider it well and you will see that it is true. Gratitude is absolutely the way to bring more into your life. Every man knows that when his wife is appreciating him for the little things that he does, what does he want to do? He wants to do more. It's always about appreciation. It pulls things in. It attracts support. Whatever we think about and thank about, we bring about. Gratitude has been such a powerful exercise. Every morning I get up and say thank you. Every morning when my feet hit the floor, thank you. And then I start running through what I'm grateful for as I'm brushing my teeth and doing the things I do in the morning. And I'm not just thinking about them and doing the same rote routine. I'm putting it out there and I'm feeling the feelings of gratitude. The day we filmed James Ray sharing his powerful exercise of gratitude is one I'll never forget. From that day on, I made James's process my life. Every morning, I don't get out of bed until I have the feelings of gratitude for this brand new day, and I'm grateful for everything that I'm grateful for in my life. Then, as I get out of bed, when one foot touches the ground, I say thank and you as my second foot touches the ground. With each step I take on the way to the bathroom, I say thank you. I continue to say and feel thank you as I'm showering and getting ready. By the time I'm ready for the day, I've said thank you hundreds of times. As I do this, I'm powerfully creating my day, and all that it will contain. I'm setting my frequency for the day and intentionally declaring where I want my day to go, rather than stumbling out of bed and letting the day take control of me. There's no more powerful way to begin your day than this. You are the creator of your life, so begin intentionally by creating your day. Gratitude was a fundamental part of the teachings of all the great avatars throughout history. In the book that changed my life, The Science of Getting Rich, written by Wallace Wattles in 1910, gratitude is its longest chapter. Every teacher featured in The Secret uses gratitude as a part of his or her day. Most of them begin their day with thoughts and feelings of gratitude. Joe Sugarman, a wonderful man and successful entrepreneur, watched the film The Secret and contacted me. He told me his favourite part was the use of the gratitude process, and that his use of gratitude had contributed to all he'd achieved in his life. With all the success Joe has attracted to himself, he continues to use gratitude every day, even for the smallest things. When he gets a parking space, he always says and feels thank you. Joe knows the power of gratitude and all it's brought him, and so gratitude is his way of life. With all that I've read and with all that I've experienced in my own life using The Secret, the power of gratitude stands above everything else. If you only do one thing with the knowledge of The Secret, use gratitude until it becomes your way of life. As soon as you start to feel different about what you already have, you'll start to attract more of the good things, more of the things you can be grateful for. You could look around and say, well, I don't have the car I want, I don't have the house I want, I don't have the partner I want, I don't have the health I want. But those are all things you don't want. Focus on what you already have that you're grateful for, and it might be that you have the eyes to read this. It might be the clothes you have. Yes, you might prefer something else, and you might get something else pretty soon if you start feeling grateful for what you have. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. It's impossible to bring more into your life if you're feeling ungrateful about what you have. Why? Because the thoughts and feelings you emit as you feel ungrateful are all negative emotions. whether it's jealousy, resentment, dissatisfaction, or feelings of not enough. Those feelings can't bring you what you want. They can only return to you more of what you don't want. Those negative emotions are blocking your good coming to you. If you want a new car, but you're not grateful for the car you have, that will be the dominant frequency you're sending out. Be grateful for what you have now. As you begin to think about all the things in your life you're grateful for, you'll be amazed at the never-ending thoughts that come back to you of more things to be grateful for. You have to make a start, and then the law of attraction will receive those grateful thoughts and give you more just like them. You'll have locked into the frequency of gratitude, and all good things will be yours. The daily practice of gratitude is one of the conduits by which your wealth will come to you. I think everybody goes through times when they say, things aren't working right, or things are going badly. Once, when there were some things going on in my family, I found a rock and I just sat there holding it. I took this rock, I stuck it in my pocket, and I said, every time I touch this rock, I'm going to think of something that I'm grateful for. So every morning when I get up in the morning, I pick it up off the dresser, put it into my pocket, and I go through the things that I'm grateful for. At night, I empty my pocket, and there it is again. I've had some amazing experiences with this idea. The great scientist Albert Einstein revolutionized the way we view time, space, and gravity. From his poor background and poor beginnings, you'd have thought it impossible for him to achieve all that he did. Einstein knew a great deal of the secret, and he said thank you hundreds of times each day. He thanked all the great scientists who'd preceded him for their contributions, which had enabled him to learn and achieve even more in his work, and eventually become one of the greatest scientists who ever lived. One of the most powerful uses of gratitude can be incorporated in the creative process to turbocharge what you want. As Bob Proctor advised in the first step of the creative process, ask. Start by writing down what you want. Begin each sentence with, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then you fill in what you want. When you give thanks as though you've already received what you want, you're emitting a powerful signal to the universe. That signal is saying that you have it already because you're feeling gratitude for it now. Each morning before you get out of bed, make it a habit to feel the feelings of gratitude in advance for the great day ahead, as though it is done. From the moment I discovered the secret and formulated the vision to share this knowledge with the world, I gave thanks every day for the film, The Secret, which would bring joy to the world. I had no idea how we would bring this knowledge to the screen, but trusted that we would attract the way. I stayed focused and held on to the outcome. I held deep feelings of gratitude in advance, as that became my state of being. The floodgates opened and all the magic flowed into our lives. For the magnificent team of The Secret and for me, our deep, heartfelt feelings of gratitude continue to this day. We've become a team that resonates gratitude with every moment, and it's become our way of life. Visualization. This is a process that's been taught by all the great teachers and avatars throughout the centuries, as well as by all the great teachers living today. In Charles Harnell's book, The Master Key System, written in 1912, he gives 24 weekly exercises to master visualization. More important, his complete Master Key System will also help you become the master of your thoughts. The reason visualization is so powerful is because you create pictures in your mind of seeing yourself with what it is you want. You're generating thoughts and feelings of having it now. Visualization is simply powerfully focused thought in pictures, and it causes equally powerful feelings. When you're visualizing, you're emitting that powerful frequency out into the universe. The law of attraction will take hold of that powerful signal and return those pictures back to you just as you saw them in your mind. I took the visualization process from the Apollo program and instituted it in the 1980s and 90s into the Olympic program. It was called Visual Motor Rehearsal. When you visualize, then you materialize. Here's an interesting thing about the mind. We took Olympic athletes and had them run their event only in their mind, and then hooked them up to sophisticated biofeedback equipment. Incredibly, the same muscles fired in the same sequence when they were running the race in their mind as when they were running it on the track. How could this be? Because the mind can't distinguish whether you're really doing it or whether it's just a practice. If you've been there in the mind, you'll go there in the body. Think about the inventors and their inventions, the Wright brothers and the plane, George Eastman and film, Thomas Edison and the light bulb, Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone. The only way anything's ever been invented or created is because one person saw a picture in their mind. They saw it clearly, and by holding the picture of the end result in their mind, all the forces of the universe brought the invention into the world through them. These people knew the secret. These were people who had utter faith in the invisible, who knew the power within them to leverage the universe and bring the invention into the visible. Their faith and their imagination have been the cause of the evolution of humankind, and we reap the benefits of their creative minds every single day. So you may be thinking, I don't have a mind like these great inventors. You may be thinking, they could imagine those things, but I can't. You could not be further from the truth. And as you continue on this great discovery of the knowledge of the secret, you will learn that you not only have the mind they had, but much more. When you're visualizing, when you've got that picture playing out in your mind, always and only dwell on the end result. Here's an example. Look at the back of your hands right now. Really look at the back of your hands. The color of your skin, the freckles, the blood vessels, the rings, the fingernails. Take in all those details. And right before you close your eyes, see those hands, your fingers, wrapping around the steering wheel of a brand new car. This is such a holographic experience, so real in this moment that you don't even feel as if you need the car, because it feels like you have it already. Dr. Vital's words brilliantly sum up the place you want to get yourself to when visualizing. When it feels like a jolt as you open your eyes in the physical world, your visualization became real. But that state, that plane, is the real. It's the field where everything's created, and the physical is just the result of the real field of all creation. That's why you won't feel as if you need it anymore, because you tuned in and felt the real field of creation through your visualization. In that field, you have everything now, and when you feel that, you will know it. It's the feeling that really creates the attraction, not just the picture or the thought. A lot of people think, if I think positive thoughts or if I visualize having what I want, that will be enough. But if you're doing that and still not feeling abundant or feeling loving or joyful, then it doesn't create the power of the attraction. You put yourself in the feeling place of really being in that car, not I wish I could get that car or someday I'll have that car, because that's a very definite feeling associated with that. It's not in the now, it's in the future. If you stay in that feeling, it will always be in the future. Now that feeling and that inner seeing will begin to be an open doorway through which the power of the universe will begin to express. What this power is, I cannot say. All I know is that it exists. Our job is not to figure out the how. The how will show up out of commitment and belief in the what. The hows are the domain of the universe. It always knows the shortest, quickest, fastest, most harmonious way between you and your dream. If you turn it over to the universe, you'll be surprised and dazzled by what's delivered to you. This is where magic and miracles happen. The teachers of the secret are all aware of the elements you bring into play when you visualize. As you see the picture in your mind and feel it, you're bringing yourself to a place of believing you have it now. You're implementing trust and faith in the universe because you're focusing on the end result and experiencing the feeling of that without giving any attention whatsoever to how it will come about. Your picture in your mind is seeing it as done. Your feelings are seeing it as done. Your mind and your entire state of being are seeing it as already happened. That's the art of visualization. You want to do this virtually daily, but it should never be a chore. What's really important is the whole secret is feeling good. You want to feel exhilarated by this whole process. You want to be high, happy, in tune as much as possible. Everyone has the power to visualize. Let me prove it to you with a picture of a kitchen. For this to work, first of all, you have to get all thoughts of your kitchen out of your mind. Don't think of your kitchen. Totally clear your mind of pictures of the kitchen, with its cupboards, refrigerator, oven, tiles, and color scheme. I bet you saw a picture of your kitchen, didn't you? Well, then you just visualized. Everyone visualizes whether he knows it or not. Visualizing is the great secret of success. Here's a tip about visualizing, which Dr. John DeMartini shares in his Breakthrough Experience seminars. John said that if you create a static picture in your mind, it can be difficult to hold that picture, so create lots of movement in your picture. To illustrate this, imagine your kitchen again, and this time imagine yourself entering that kitchen, walking to the refrigerator and putting your hand on the door handle, opening the door, looking inside and finding a cold bottle of water. Reach in and grab it. You can feel the coldness on your hand as you grasp the bottle. You have the bottle of water in one hand, and you use your other hand to close the refrigerator door. Now that you're visualizing your kitchen with detail and movement, it's easier to see and hold the picture, isn't it? We all possess more power and greater possibilities than we realize, and visualizing is one of the greatest of these powers. There's only one difference. The only difference between people who live in this way and people who live in the magic of life and those who don't is that the people who live in the magic of life have habituated ways of being. They've made a habit of using the law of attraction, and magic happens with them wherever they go. Because they remember to use it. They use it all the time, not just a one-time event. Here are two true stories that clearly demonstrate the powerful law of attraction and the immaculate matrix of the universe in action. The first is a story about a woman named Jeannie who bought a DVD of The Secret and was watching it at least once a day so she could absorb the message right into the cells of her body. She was particularly impressed with Bob Proctor, and she thought it would be wonderful to meet him. One morning, Jeannie collected her mail, and to her utter amazement, the mailman had accidentally delivered Bob Proctor's mail to her address. What Jeannie didn't know is that Bob Proctor lived just 4 blocks away from her. Not only that, but Jeannie's house number was the same number as Bob's. She immediately took the mail to deliver it to the correct address. Can you imagine her utter delight when the door opened and Bob Proctor was standing there before her? Bob is rarely at home as he travels all over the world teaching, but the matrix of the universe knows only perfect timing. From Jeannie's thought of how wonderful it would be to meet Bob Proctor, the law of attraction moved people, circumstances and events throughout the universe so that it happened. The second story involves a 10-year-old boy named Colin who'd seen and loved The Secret. Colin's family made a week-long visit to Disney World, and on their first day they experienced long lines at the park. So that night, before Colin fell asleep, he thought, tomorrow I'd love to go on all the big rides and never have to wait in line. The next morning, Colin and his family were at the gates of the Epcot Centre as the park opened, and a Disney staff member approached and asked them if they would be Epcot's first family of the day. As first family, they'd be given VIP status, a special escort by a staff member, and walk-on passes for every big ride at Epcot. It was everything and more that Colin had wished for. Hundreds of families were waiting to enter Epcot that morning, but Colin didn't have the slightest doubt as to why his family had been chosen first family. He knew it was because he'd used The Secret. Imagine discovering at the age of 10 that the power to move worlds lies within you. Nothing can prevent your picture from coming into concrete form except the same power which gave it birth, yourself. People hold that for a while, and they really champion at it. They say, I'm fired up, I saw this program and I'm going to change my life. And yet results aren't showing. Beneath the surface, it's just about ready to break through, but the person will look at the surface and results and say, this stuff doesn't work. And you know what? The universe says, your wish is my command, and it disappears. So when you allow a thought of doubt to enter your mind, the law of attraction will soon line up one doubtful thought after another. The moment a thought of doubt comes, release it immediately. Send that thought on its way and replace it with, I know I'm receiving it now, and feel it. Knowing the law of attraction, I really wanted to put it to use and see what would happen. In 1995, I started to create something called a vision board, where I take something that I want to achieve or something that I want to attract, like a car or a watch or the soulmate of my dreams, and I put a picture of what I want on this board. Every day I would sit in my office and I would look up at this board and I would start to visualize. I would really get into the state of having already acquired it. I was getting ready to move. We put all the furniture, all the boxes into storage, and I made 3 different moves over a period of 5 years. And then I ended up in California and bought this house, renovated it for a year, and then had all the stuff brought from my former home 5 years earlier. One morning my son Keenan came into my office, and one of the boxes that was sealed for 5 years was right at the doorstep. He asked, "What's in the boxes, Daddy?" And I said, "Those are my vision boards." And then he asked, "What's a vision board?" I said, "Well, it's where I put all my goals up. I cut them out and I pull my goals up as something that I want to achieve in my life." Of course, at 5.5 years old, he didn't understand, so I said, "Let me just show you. That'll be the easiest way to do it." I cut the box open, and on one vision board was a picture of a home that I was visualizing 5 years earlier. What was shocking was that we were living in that house. Not a house like it. I actually bought my dream home, renovated it, and didn't even know it. I looked at that house and I started to cry because I was just blown away. Keenan said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "I finally understand how the law of attraction works. I finally understand the power of visualization. I finally understand everything that I've read, everything that I've worked with my whole life, the way I've built companies. It worked for my home as well, and I bought our dream home and I didn't even know it." Imagination is everything. It's the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. You can let your imagination go wild with a vision board and place pictures of all the things you want and pictures of how you want your life to be. Make sure you put the vision board in a place where you see it and look at it every day, as John Ashraf did. Feel the feelings of having those things now. As you receive and feel gratitude for receiving, you can remove pictures and add new ones. This is a wonderful way to introduce children to the law of attraction. I hope the creation of a vision board inspires parents and teachers worldwide. One of the people on the Secret website forum put a picture of the Secret DVD on his vision board. He'd seen The Secret but didn't own his own copy. 2 days after he had created his vision board, I felt inspired to post a notice on the Secret forum giving away DVDs to the first 10 people who posted. He was one of the 10. He had received a copy of the Secret DVD within 2 days of putting it on his vision board. Whether it's a DVD of The Secret or a house, the joy of creating and receiving is magnificent. Another powerful example of visualizing comes from my mother's experience of buying a new house. Several people besides my mother had put in offers for this particular house. My mother decided to use The Secret to make that house hers. She sat down and wrote her name and the new address of the house over and over. She continued doing this until it felt as though it was her address. She then imagined placing all of her furniture in that new house. Within hours of doing these things, she received a phone call saying her offer had been accepted. She was so thrilled, but it didn't come as a surprise to her because she knew that house was hers. Decide what you want. Believe you can have it. Believe you deserve it and believe it's possible for you. And then close your eyes every day for several minutes and visualize having already what you want, feeling the feelings of already having it. Come out of that and focus on what you're grateful for already and really enjoy it. Then go into your day and release it to the universe and trust that the universe will figure out how to manifest it. Chapter 4 Summaries. Expectation is a powerful attractive force. Expect the things you want and don't expect the things you don't want. Gratitude is a powerful process for shifting your energy and bringing more of what you want into your life. Be grateful for what you already have and you will attract more good things. Giving thanks for what you want in advance turbocharges your desires and sends a more powerful signal out into the universe. Visualization is the process of creating the pictures in your mind of yourself enjoying what you want. When you visualize, you generate powerful thoughts and feelings of having it now. The law of attraction then returns the reality to you just as you saw it in your mind. To use the law of attraction to your advantage, make it a habitual way of being, not just a one-time event. At the end of every day, before you go to sleep, go back through the events of the day. Any events or moments that were not what you wanted, replay them in your mind the way you wanted them to go. Chapter 5. The Secret to Money. Whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve. The Secret was a real transformation for me because I grew up with a very negative father who thought that rich people were people that ripped everyone off and thought that anyone who had money must have deceived somebody. So I grew up with a lot of beliefs about money, that if you had it, it made you bad. Only evil people had money, and money doesn't grow on trees. Who do you think I am, Rockefeller? That was one of his favourite phrases. So I grew up truly believing that life was difficult. It was only when I met W. Clement Stone that I began to shift my life. When I was working with Stone, he said, "I want you to set a goal that's so big that if you achieved it, it will blow your mind. And you know it's only because of what I've taught you that you've achieved this goal." At the time, I was making about $8,000 a year, so I said, right, I want to make $100,000 in a year. Now, I had no idea how I could do that. I saw no strategy, no possibility, but I just said, I'm going to declare that. I'm going to believe it. I'm going to act as if it's true and release it. So I did that. One of the things he taught me was every day to close your eyes and visualize the goals as if it's already achieved. I had actually made a $100,000 bill that I put on my ceiling, so first thing in the morning I'd look up and there it was, and it would remind me that this was my intention. Then I would close my eyes and visualize having this $100,000 a year lifestyle. Interestingly enough, nothing major happened for about a month. I didn't have any breakthrough ideas, no one was offering me more money. About 4 weeks into it, I had a $100,000 idea. It just came right into my head. I had a book that I'd written, and I said, if I could sell 400,000 copies of my book at $25 each, that would be $100,000. Now, the book was right there, but I never had this thought. One of the secrets is that when you have an inspired thought, you just have to trust it and act on it. I didn't know how I was going to sell 400,000 copies. Then I saw the National Enquirer at the supermarket. I'd seen it millions of times, and it was just background, and all of a sudden it jumped out to me as foreground. I thought, if readers knew about my book, certainly 400,000 people would go out and buy it. About 6 weeks later, I gave a talk at Hunter College in New York to 600 teachers, and afterwards a woman approached me and said, "That was a great talk. I want to interview you. Let me give you my card." As it turns out, she was a freelance writer, but also worked for the National Enquirer. The point I want to make is that what I was attracting into my life, all these different events, including this person. To make a long story short, I didn't make $100,000 that year. We made $92,327. But do you think we were depressed and saying, that doesn't work? No, we were saying, this is amazing. So my wife said to me, if it works for 100,000, do you think it would work for 1,000,000? And I said, I don't know, I think so. Let's try it. My publisher wrote me a royalty check for our first Chicken Soup for the Soul book, and he actually put a smiley face in his signature because it was the first $1 million check he'd ever written. So I know from my own experience, because I wanted to test it. Does the secret really work? We put it to the test and it absolutely worked, and now I live my life from that every single day. The knowledge of the secret and the intentional use of the law of attraction can be applied to every single subject in your life. It's the same process for everything you want to create, and the subject of money is no different. To attract money, you must focus on wealth. It's impossible to bring more money into your life when you're noticing that you don't have enough, because that means you're thinking thoughts that you do not have enough. Focus on not enough money, and you will create untold more circumstances of not having enough money. You must focus on the abundance of money to bring that to you. You have to emit a signal with your thoughts, and those thoughts should be that you currently have more than enough. You really do need to call your imagination into play and make believe you already have the money you want. And it's so much fun to do. You'll notice as you pretend and play games of having wealth that you feel instantly better about money. And as you feel better about it, it will begin to flow into your life. Jack's wonderful story inspired the Secret team to create a blank check available as a free download on the Secret TV. The Secret website. The blank check's for you, and it's from the Bank of the Universe. You fill in your name, the amount, the details, and place it in a prominent place where you'll see it every day. When you look at the check, feel the feelings of having that money now. Imagine spending that money on all the things you'll buy and the things you will do. Feel how wonderful that is. Know it is yours, because when you ask, it is. We've received hundreds of stories from people who've brought huge sums of money to them using the Secret check. It's a fun game that works. The only reason any person doesn't have enough money is because they're blocking money from coming to them with their thoughts. Every negative thought, feeling or emotion is blocking your good from coming to you, and that includes money. It's not that the money is being kept from you by the universe, because all the money you require exists right now in the invisible. If you don't have enough, it's because you're stopping the flow of money coming to you, and you're doing that with your thoughts. You must tip the balance of your thoughts from lack of money to more than enough money. Think more thoughts of abundance than lack, and you've tipped the balance. When you need money, it's a powerful feeling within you, and so of course the law of attraction will continue to attract needing money. I can speak from experience about money because just before I discovered the secret, my accountants told me that my company had suffered a major loss that year, and in 3 months it would be history. After 10 years of hard work, my company was about to slip through my fingers, and as I needed more money to save my company, things just got worse. There seemed no way out. Then I discovered the secret, and everything in my life, including the state of my company, was totally transformed because I changed the way I was thinking. As my accountants continued to fuss about the figures and focus on that, I kept my mind focused on abundance and all being well. I knew with every fibre of my being that the universe would provide, and it did. It provided in ways I couldn't have imagined. I had moments of doubt, but when the doubt came, I immediately moved my thoughts to the outcome of what I wanted. I gave thanks for it, I felt the joy of it, and I believed. I want to let you in on a secret to the secret. The shortcut to anything you want in your life is to be and feel happy now. It's the fastest way to bring money and anything else you want into your life. Focus on radiating out into the universe those feelings of joy and happiness. And when you do that, you'll attract back to you all the things that bring you joy and happiness, which will not only include an abundance of money, but everything else you're wanting. You must radiate out the signal to bring back what you want. As you radiate out those feelings of happiness, they'll be sent back to you as the pictures and experiences of your life. The law of attraction is reflecting back your innermost thoughts and feelings as your life. Focusing on prosperity. I can imagine that a lot of people are thinking, well, how can I attract more money into my life? How can I get more of it? How can I get more wealth and prosperity? How can I, when I love my job, deal with the credit card debt that I have and the realization that maybe there's a ceiling on the money that can come in because it's coming to me through my job? How can I bring in more? Intend it. This goes back to one of the things I've been talking about throughout the whole secret. Your job is to declare what you'd like to have from the catalogue of the universe. If cash is one of them, say how much you'd like to have. I would like to have $25,000 unexpected income within the next 30 days, or whatever it happens to be. It should be believable for you. If you've held thoughts in the past that the only way money can come to you is through your job, then let that go immediately. You can appreciate that as you continue to think that, it must be your experience. Such thoughts don't serve you. You are now coming to understand that there is an abundance for you, and it's not your job to work out how the money will come. It's your job to ask, to believe you are receiving, and to feel happy now. Leave the details to the universe on how it will bring it about. Bob Proctor. Most people have a goal of getting out of debt. That will keep you in debt forever. Whatever you're thinking about, you will attract. You say, but it's get out of debt. I don't care if it's get out or get in. If you're thinking debt, you're attracting debt. So set up an automatic debt repayment program and then start to focus on prosperity. When you have a pile of bills that you have no idea how you're going to pay, you cannot focus on those bills because you'll continue to attract more bills. You have to find a way that works for you to focus on prosperity despite the bills around you. You have to find a way of feeling good so you can bring your good to you. So many times people say, I'd like to double my income in the next year, but then you look at their actions and they're not doing the things that are going to make that happen. They'll turn around and say, well, I can't afford that. Well, guess what? Your wish is my command. If the words I can't afford it have passed your lips, your power to change that is now. Change it with I can afford that. I can buy that. Say it over and over. Become like a parrot. For the next 30 days, make it your intention that you're going to look at everything you like and say to yourself, I can afford that. I can buy that. As you see your dream car drive past, say, I can afford that. As you see clothes you love, as you think about a great holiday, say, I can afford that. As you do this, you'll begin to shift yourself and you'll begin to feel better about money. You'll begin to convince yourself that you can afford those things, and as you do, the pictures of your life will change. When you focus on lack and scarcity and what you don't have, you fuss about it with your family, you discuss it with your friends, you tell your children that you don't have enough. We don't have enough for that. We can't afford that. Then you'll never be able to afford it because you begin to attract more of what you don't have. If you want abundance, if you want prosperity, then focus on abundance. Focus on prosperity. The spiritual substance from which comes all visible wealth is never depleted. It's right with you all the time and responds to your faith in it and your demands upon it. Now that you know the secret, when you see someone who's wealthy, you'll know that person's predominant thoughts are on wealth and not on scarcity, and that they've drawn wealth to them, whether they did it consciously or unconsciously. They focused on thoughts of wealth, and the universe moved people, circumstances, and events to deliver wealth to them. The wealth that they have, you have also. The only difference between you and them is that they thought the thoughts to bring the wealth to them. Your wealth is waiting for you in the invisible, and to bring it into the visible, think wealth. David Schwimmer. When I first understood the secret, every day I would get loads of bills in the mail. I thought, how do I make this change? The law of attraction states that what you focus on is what you get. So I got a bank statement, whited out the total and put a new total in there. I put exactly how much I wanted to see in the bank. So I thought, what if I just visualized checks coming in the mail? So I visualized a bunch of checks coming in the mail. Within 1 month, things started to change. It's amazing. Today, I just get lots of checks in the mail. I get a few bills, but I get more checks than bills. Since the film The Secret was released, we've received hundreds and hundreds of letters from people who've said that since watching the film, they've received unexpected checks in the mail. And it happened because as they gave their focus and attention to David's story, they brought checks to them. A game I created that helped shift my feelings about my pile of bills was to pretend that the bills were actually checks. I would jump for joy as I opened them and said, "More money for me, thank you, thank you." I took each bill, imagined it was a check, and then I added a 0 to it in my mind to make it even more. I got a notepad and wrote at the top of the page, "I have received," and then I would list all the amounts of the bills with an added 0. Next to each amount I would write, "Thank you," and feel the feelings of gratitude for receiving it, to the point where I had tears in my eyes. Then I would take each bill, which looked very small compared to what I'd received, and I would pay each one with gratitude. I never opened my bills until I'd got myself into the feeling that they were checks. If I opened my bills before convincing myself they were checks, my stomach would churn when I opened them. I knew that the emotion of the churning in my stomach was powerfully bringing more bills. I knew that I had to erase that feeling and replace it with joyful feelings so I could bring more money into my life. In the face of a pile of bills, that game worked for me, and it changed my life. There are so many games you can create, and you will know what works best for you by the way you feel inside. When you make believe, the results come fast. When it comes to creating wealth, wealth is a mindset. It's all about how you think. Probably 80% of the coaching that some people do with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. People say, "Oh, you can do it." I can't. People have the capability to change their inner relationship and conversation with money. The good news is that the moment you decide that what you know is more important than what you've been taught to believe, you will have shifted gears in your quest for abundance. Success comes from within, not from without. You have got to feel good about money to attract more to you. Understandably, when people don't have enough money, they don't feel good about money because they don't have enough. But the negative feelings about money are stopping more money from coming to you. You've got to stop the cycle, and you stop it by starting to feel good about money and being grateful for what you have. Start to say and feel, "I have more than enough. There is an abundance of money and it's on its way to me. I'm a money magnet. I love money and money loves me. I'm receiving money every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Give money to get money. Giving is a powerful action to bring more money into your life, because when you're giving, you're saying, "I have plenty." It won't be surprising for you to learn that the wealthiest people on the planet are the greatest philanthropists. They give away vast amounts of money, and as they give, by the law of attraction, the universe opens up and floods vast amounts of money back to them, multiplied. If you're thinking, I don't have enough money to give, then bingo, now you know why you don't have enough money. When you think you don't have enough to give, start giving. As you demonstrate faith in giving, the law of attraction must give you more to give. There's a big difference between giving and sacrificing. Giving from a heart that's overflowing feels so good. Sacrifice doesn't feel good. So don't confuse the two. They are diametrically opposed. One emits a signal of lack and the other emits a signal of more than enough. One feels good and one doesn't feel good. Sacrifice will eventually lead to resentment. Giving from a full heart is one of the most joyous things you can do, and the law of attraction will grab hold of that signal and flood even more into your life. You can feel the difference. I find so many people who make a tremendous amount of money, but their relationships stink. And that's not wealth. You can go after the money and you might get rich, but it doesn't guarantee that you'll be wealthy. I'm not suggesting that money isn't part of wealth. It absolutely is, but it's only a part. And then I meet a lot of people who are spiritual, but they're sick and broke a lot of the time. That's not wealth either. Life is meant to be abundant in all areas. If you've been brought up to believe that being wealthy is not spiritual, then I highly recommend you read the Millionaires of the Bible series by Catherine Ponder. In these glorious books, you'll discover that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, and Jesus were not only prosperity teachers, but also millionaires themselves, with more affluent lifestyles than many present-day millionaires could conceive of. You are the heir to the kingdom. Prosperity is your birthright, and you hold the key to more abundance in every area of your life than you can possibly imagine. You deserve everything good that you want, and the universe will give you every good thing you want, but you have to summon it into your life. Now you know the secret, you have the key. The key is your thoughts and feelings, and you've been holding the key in your hand all this time. Many people in Western culture are striving for success. They want the great home, they want the business to work, they want all of these outer things. But we found in our research that having these outer things doesn't necessarily guarantee what we really want, which is happiness. So we go for these outer things thinking that they're going to bring us happiness. But it's backwards. You need to go for the inner joy, the inner peace, the inner vision first, and then all of the outer things appear. Everything you want is an inside job. The outside world is the world of effects. It's just the result of thoughts. Set your thoughts and frequency on happiness. Radiate the feelings of happiness and joy within you, and transmit that into the universe with all of your might, and you'll experience true heaven on earth. Secret summaries. To attract money, focus on wealth. It's impossible to bring more money into your life when you focus on the lack of it. It's helpful to use your imagination and make believe you already have the money you want. Play games of having wealth and you'll feel better about money. As you feel better about it, more will flow into your life. Feeling happy now is the fastest way to bring money into your life. Make it your intention to look at everything you like and say to yourself, I can afford that, I can buy that. You will shift your thinking and begin to feel better about money. Give money in order to bring more of it into your life. When you're generous with money and feel good about sharing it, you're saying, I have plenty. Visualize payments coming to you unexpectedly. Tip the balance of your thoughts to wealth. Think wealth. Chapter 6. The Secret to Relationships. The secret means that we're creators of our own universe, and that every wish that we want to create will manifest in our lives. Therefore, our wishes, thoughts, and feelings are very important because they will manifest. One day, I went into the home of an art director, a very famous film producer. In every corner, he had this beautiful image of a naked woman draped with fabric, kind of turning away as if she was saying, I don't see you. I said to him, I think you might have trouble with your romance. And he said, are you clairvoyant? I said, no, but look, in 7 places you have exactly that same woman. He said, but I love that kind of painting. I painted it myself. I said, well, that's even worse because you put all your creation and creativity into it. He was a good-looking man with all these actresses around him because of the work he does, and he doesn't have any romance. I asked him, "What do you want?" "I want to date 3 women a week." I said, "Okay, paint it. Paint yourself with 3 women and hang it in every corner of your living space." 6 months later I saw him and asked, "How is your love life?" "Great. Women call me, they want to date me." "Because that's your wish," I said. He said, "I feel great. I mean, for years I didn't have a date, and now I have 3 dates a week. They're fighting over me." "Good for you," I said. Then he told me, "I really want to stabilize. I want marriage now. I want romance." I said, "Well, paint it." He painted a beautiful romantic relationship, and a year later he got married. He's very happy. This is because he put another wish out. He wished it in himself for years without it happening because his wish couldn't manifest. The outer level of himself, his house, was contradicting his wish all the time. So if you understand this knowledge, you just start playing with it. Marie Diamond's story of her client is a perfect demonstration of how Feng Shui reflects the teachings of The Secret. It illustrates how our thoughts create powerfully when we put them into action. Any action we take must be preceded by a thought. Thoughts create the words we speak, the feelings we feel, and our actions. Actions are particularly powerful because they are thoughts that have caused us to act. We may not even realize what our innermost thoughts are, but we can see what we've been thinking by looking at the actions we've taken. In the story of the film producer, his innermost thoughts were reflected in his actions and surroundings. He painted many women, all turning away from him. Can you see what his innermost thoughts were? Even though his words were saying he wanted to date more women, his innermost thoughts didn't reflect that in his paintings. By deliberately choosing to change his actions, it caused him to focus his entire thought on what he wanted. With such a simple shift, he was able to paint his life and call it into existence through the law of attraction. When you want to attract something into your life, make sure your actions don't contradict your desires. One of the most wonderful examples of this is given by Mike Dooley, one of the teachers featured in The Secret, in his audio course, Leveraging the Universe and Engaging the Magic. It's a story of a woman who wanted to attract a perfect partner into her life. She'd done all the right things. She got clear about what she wanted him to be like, made a detailed list of all his qualities, and visualized him in her life. Despite doing all of these things, there was no sign of him. Then one day, as she arrived home and was parking her car in the middle of her garage, she gasped at the realization that her actions were contradicting what she wanted. If her car was in the middle of the garage, there was no room for her perfect partner's car. Her actions were powerfully saying to the universe that she did not believe she was going to receive what she'd asked for. So she immediately cleaned up her garage and parked her car to one side, leaving space for her perfect partner's car on the other side. She then went into her bedroom and opened her wardrobe, which was jammed full of clothes. There was no room for her perfect partner's clothes, so she moved some of her clothes to make space. She had also been sleeping in the middle of her bed, so she began sleeping on her side, leaving space for her partner. This woman related her story to Mike Dooley over a dinner, and sitting next to her at the table was her perfect partner. After taking all of these powerful actions and acting as if she'd already received her perfect partner, he arrived in her life and they're now happily married. Another simple example of acting as if is a story of my sister Glenda, who is the production manager of the film The Secret. She was living and working in Australia and she wanted to move to the United States and work with me in our US office. Glenda knew The Secret very well, and so she was doing all the right things to bring forth what she wanted. But months were passing by and she was still in Australia. Glenda looked at her actions and realized she was not acting as if she was receiving what she'd asked for, so she began to take powerful actions. She organized everything in her life for her departure. She cancelled memberships, gave away things she wouldn't need. She got her suitcases out and packed them. Within 4 weeks, Glenda was in the United States working out of our US office. Think about what you've asked for and make sure that your actions are mirroring what you expect to receive and that they're not contradicting what you've asked for. Act as if you're receiving it. Do exactly what you would do if you were receiving it today and take actions in your life to reflect that powerful expectation. Make room to receive your desires, and as you do, you're sending out that powerful signal of expectation. Your job is you. Inside relationships, it's important to first understand who's coming into the relationship
and not just your partner. You need to understand yourself first. How can you ever expect someone to enjoy your company if you didn't enjoy your own company? And so again, the law of attraction, or the secret, is bringing that into your life. You've got to get really, really clear. Here's the question I would ask you to consider. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? When you don't treat yourself the way you want others to treat you, you can never change the way things are. Your actions are your powerful thoughts. So if you don't treat yourself with love and respect, you're emitting a signal that's saying you're not important enough, worthy enough, or deserving. That signal will continue to be broadcast until you experience more situations of people not treating you well. The people are just the effect. Your thoughts are the cause. You must begin to treat yourself with love and respect and emit that signal and get on that frequency. Then the law of attraction will move the entire universe, and your life will be full of people who love and respect you. Many people have sacrificed themselves for others, thinking that when they sacrifice themselves, they're being a good person. Wrong. To sacrifice yourself can only come from thoughts of absolute lack, because it's saying there's not enough for everyone, so I will go without. Those feelings don't feel good and will eventually lead to resentment. There's abundance for everybody, and it's each person's responsibility to summon their own desires. You can't summon for another person because you can't think and feel for another. Your job is you. When you make feeling good a priority, that magnificent frequency will radiate and touch everyone close to you. You become the solution for you. Don't point to another person and say, now you owe me and you need to give me more. Instead, give more to yourself. Take time off to give to yourself, and in a sense, to fill yourself up to fullness, to where you can now overflow in giving. To acquire love, fill yourself up with it until you become a magnet. Many of us were taught to put ourselves last, and as a consequence, we attracted feelings of being unworthy and undeserving. As those feelings lodged within us, we continued to attract more life situations that had us feel more unworthy and not enough. You must change that thinking. Undoubtedly to some, the idea of giving so much love to self would seem very cold, hard, and unmerciful. Still, this matter may be seen in a different light when we find that looking out for number one, as directed by the infinite, is really looking out for number two, and is indeed the only way to permanently benefit number two. Unless you fill yourself up first, you have nothing to give anybody. Therefore, it's imperative that you tend to you first. Attend to your joy first. People are responsible for their own joy. When you tend to your joy and do what makes you feel good, you're a joy to be around, and you're a shining example to every child and every person in your life. When you're feeling joy, you don't even have to think about giving. It's a natural overflow. Lisa Nichols. I got into many relationships expecting my partner to show me my beauty because I didn't see it for myself. When I was growing up, my heroes were the Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, and Charlie's Angels. And while they're wonderful, they didn't look like me. It wasn't until I fell in love with Lisa, I fell in love with my mocha skin, my full lips, my round hips, and my curly black hair. It wasn't until that happened that the rest of the world was able to fall in love with me too. The reason you have to love you is because it's impossible to feel good if you don't love you. When you feel bad about yourself, you're blocking all the love and all the good that the universe has for you. When you feel bad about yourself, it feels as though you're sucking the life out of you, because all of your good on every single subject, including health, wealth, and love, is on the frequency of joy and feeling good. The feeling of having unlimited energy and that amazing feeling of health and wellness are all on the frequency of feeling good. When you don't feel good about you, you're on a frequency that's attracting more people, situations, and circumstances that will continue to make you feel bad about you. You must change your focus and begin to think about all the things that are wonderful about you. Look for the positives in you. As you focus on those things, the law of attraction will show you more great things about you. You attract what you think about. All you have to do is begin one prolonged thought of something good about you, and the law of attraction will respond by giving you more like thoughts. Look for the good things about you. Seek and ye shall find. Bob Proctor. There's something so magnificent about you. I've been studying me for 44 years. I want to kiss myself sometimes because you're going to get you to love yourself. I'm not talking about conceit. I'm talking about a healthy respect for yourself. And as you love yourself, you'll automatically love others. Marcy Shimoff. In relationships, we're so used to complaining about other people. For instance, my co-workers are so lazy, my husband makes me so mad, my children are so difficult. It's always focusing on the other person. But for relationships to really work, we need to focus on what we appreciate about the other person, not what we're complaining about. When we're complaining about those things, we're only getting more of those things. Even if you're having a really hard time in a relationship, things aren't working, you're not getting along, someone's in your face, you can still turn that relationship around. Take a piece of paper and for the next 30 days, sit down and write all the things that you appreciate about that person. Think about all the reasons that you love them. You appreciate their sense of humour, you appreciate how supportive they are. And what you'll find is that when you focus on appreciating and acknowledging their strength, that's what you'll get more of, and the problems will fade away. Oftentimes, you give others the opportunity to create your happiness, and many times they fail to create it the way you want it. Why? Because only one person can be in charge of your joy, of your bliss, and that's you. So even your parent, your child, your spouse, they don't have the control to create your happiness. They simply have the opportunity to share in your happiness. Your joy lies within you. All your joy is on the frequency of love, the highest and most powerful frequency of all. You can't hold love in your hand. You can only feel it in your heart. It's a state of being. You can see evidence of love being expressed through people, but love is a feeling, and you are the only one who can radiate and emit that feeling of love. Your ability to generate feelings of love is unlimited, and when you love, you're in complete and utter harmony with the universe. Love everything you can. Love everyone you can. Focus only on things you love. Feel love and you'll experience that love and joy coming back to you, multiplied. The law of attraction must send you back more things to love. As you radiate love, it will appear as though the entire universe is doing everything for you, moving every joyful thing to you, and moving every good person to you. And in truth, it is. Secret summaries. When you want to attract a relationship, make sure your thoughts, words and actions and surroundings don't contradict your desires. Your job is you. Unless you fill yourself up first, you have nothing to give anybody. Treat yourself with love and respect, and you'll attract people who show you love and respect. When you feel bad about yourself, you block the love instead of attracting and attract more people and situations that will continue to make you feel bad about you. Focus on the qualities you love about yourself, and the law of attraction will show you more great things about you. To make a relationship work, focus on what you appreciate about the other person, and your complaints, not your complaints. When you focus on the strengths, you'll get more of them. Chapter 7. The Secret to Health. Our body is really the product of our thoughts. We're beginning to understand in medical science the degree to which the nature of thoughts and emotions actually determines the physical substance and structure and function of our bodies. We've known in the healing arts of a placebo effect. A placebo is something that supposedly has no impact and no effect on the body, like a sugar pill. Yet, you tell the patient that it's just as effective, and what happens is the placebo sometimes has the same effect, if not greater effect, than the medication it's supposed to be imitating. They found out that the human mind is the biggest factor in the healing arts, sometimes more so than the medication. As you're becoming aware of the magnitude of the secret, you'll begin to see more clearly the underlying truth of certain occurrences in humankind, including in the area of health. The placebo effect is a powerful phenomenon. When patients think and truly believe the tablet is a cure, they will receive what they believe and they will be cured. If somebody's in a situation where they're sick and they have an alternative to try and explore what's in their mind creating it versus using medicine, if it's an acute situation that could really bring death to them, then obviously the medicine is a wise thing to do while they explore what the mind is about. So you don't want to negate medicine. Every form of healing has a place. Healing through the mind can work harmoniously with medicine. If pain is involved, then medicine can help to eliminate that pain, which then allows the person to be able to focus with great force on health. Thinking perfect health is something anybody can do privately within themselves, no matter what's happening around them. The universe is a masterpiece of abundance. When you open yourself to feel the abundance of the universe, you'll experience the wonder, joy, bliss, and all of the great things the universe has for you. Good health, good wealth, good nature. But when you shut yourself off with negative thoughts, you'll feel the discomfort, you'll feel the aches, you'll feel the pain, and you'll feel as if every day is painful to get through. We've got 1,000 different diagnoses and diseases out there. They're just the weak link. They're all of the result of one thing: stress. If you put enough stress on the chain and you put enough stress on the system, then one of the links will break. All stress begins with one negative thought. One thought that went unchecked, and then more thoughts came and more until stress manifested. The effect is stress, but the cause was negative thinking. And it all began with one little negative thought. No matter what you might have manifested, you can change it with one small positive thought and then another. Our physiology creates disease to give us feedback, to let us know we have an imbalanced perspective or we're not being loving or grateful. So the body's signs and symptoms are not something terrible. Love and gratitude will dissolve all negativity in our lives, no matter what form it's taken. Love and gratitude can part seas, move mountains, and create miracles. And love and gratitude can dissolve any disease. The question frequently asked is, when a person's manifested a disease in the body or some kind of discomfort in their life, can it be turned around through the power of right thinking? And the answer is absolutely yes. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, says Kathy Goodman. I truly believed in my heart, with my strong faith, that I was already healed. Each day I would say, thank you for my healing. On and on and on I went. Thank you for my healing. I believed in my heart I was healed. I saw myself as if cancer was never in my body. One of the things I did to heal myself was watch very funny movies. That's all we could do, was just laugh and laugh and laugh. We couldn't afford to put any stress in my life because we knew that stress was one of the worst things you can do while you're trying to heal yourself. From the time I was diagnosed to the time I was healed was approximately 3 months, and that's without any radiation or chemotherapy. This beautiful and inspiring story from Kathy Goodman demonstrates 3 magnificent powers in operation: the power of gratitude to heal, the power of faith to receive, and the power of laughter and joy to dissolve disease in our bodies. Kathy was inspired to include laughter as part of her healing after hearing about the story of Norman Cousins. Norman had been diagnosed with an incurable disease. The doctors told him he had just a few months to live. Norman decided to heal himself. For 3 months, all he did was watch funny movies and laugh, laugh, laugh. The disease left his body in those 3 months, and the doctors proclaimed his recovery a miracle. As he laughed, Norman released all negativity, and he released the disease. Laughter really is the best medicine. We all come with a basic built-in program. It's called self-healing. You get a wound, it grows back together. You get a bacterial infection, the immune system comes and takes care of those bacteria and heals it up. The immune system is made to heal itself. Disease can't live in a body that's in a healthy emotional state. Your body's casting off millions of cells every second, and it's also creating millions of new cells at the same time. In fact, parts of our body are literally replaced every day. Other parts take a few months, other parts a couple of years, but within a few years we each have a brand new physical body. If our entire bodies are replaced within a few years, as science has proven, then how can it be that our degeneration or illness remains in our bodies for years? It can only be held there by thought, by observation of the illness, and by the attention given to the illness. Think thoughts of perfection. Illness can't exist in a body that has harmonious thoughts. Know there is only perfection, and as you observe perfection, you must summon that to you. Imperfect thoughts are the cause of all humanity's ills, including disease, poverty, and unhappiness. When we think negative thoughts, we're cutting ourselves off from our rightful heritage. Declare and intend, I think perfect thoughts, I see only perfection, I am perfection. I banished every bit of stiffness and lack of agility right out of my body. I focused on seeing my body as flexible and as perfect as a child's, and every stiff and aching joint vanished. I literally did this overnight. You can see that beliefs about aging are all in our minds. Science explains that we have a brand new body in a very short time. Aging is limited thinking, so release those thoughts from your consciousness and know that your body is only months old, no matter how many birthdays you've chalked up in your mind. For your next birthday, do yourself a favour and celebrate it as your first birthday. Don't cover your cake with 60 candles unless you want to summon aging to you. Unfortunately, Western society has become fixated on age, and in reality, there's no such thing. You can think your way to the perfect state of health, the perfect body, the perfect weight, and eternal youth. You can bring it into being through your consistent thinking of perfection. If you have a disease and you're focusing on it and you're talking to people about it and you're going to create more disease cells, see yourself living in a perfectly healthy body. Let the doctor look after the disease. One of the things that people often do when they have an illness is they talk about it all the time. That's because they're thinking about it all the time, so they're just verbalizing their thoughts. If you're feeling a little unwell, don't talk about it unless you want more of it. Know that your thought was responsible and repeat as often as you can. I feel wonderful, I feel so good. And really feel it. If you're not feeling great and somebody asks you how you're feeling, just be grateful that that person's reminded you to think thoughts of feeling well. Speak only the words of what you want. You can't catch anything unless you think you can. And thinking you can is inviting it to you with your thought. You're also inviting illness if you're listening to people talking about their illness. As you listen, you're giving all of your thought and focus to illness. And when you give all your thought to something that you are asking for it. And you're certainly not helping them. You are adding energy to their illness. If you really want to help that person, change the conversation to good things if you can, or be on your way. As you walk away, give your powerful thoughts and feelings to seeing that person well, and then let it go. Let's say you have two people, both stricken with something, but one chooses to focus on joy. One chooses to live in possibility and hopefulness, focusing on all the reasons why they should be joyful and grateful. Then you have the second person, same diagnosis, but the second chooses to focus on the disease, the pain, and the woe is me. When people are completely focused on what's wrong and their symptoms, they'll perpetuate it. The healing will not occur until they shift their attention from being sick to being well, because that's the law of attraction. Let us remember, so far as we can, that every unpleasant thought is a bad thing literally put in the body. Happier thoughts lead to essentially a happier biochemistry, a happier, healthier body. Negative thoughts and stress have been shown to seriously degrade the body and the functioning of the brain, because it's our thoughts and emotions that are continuously reassembling, reorganizing and recreating our body. No matter what you've manifested in regards to your body, you can change it, inside and out. Start thinking happy thoughts and start being happy. Happiness is a feeling state of being. You have your finger on the feeling happy button. Press it now and keep your finger pressed down on it firmly, no matter what is happening around you. Remove physiological stress from the body and the body does what it was designed to do. It heals itself. You don't have to fight to get rid of a disease. Just the simple process of letting go of negative thoughts will allow your natural state of health to emerge within you, and your body will heal itself. I've seen kidneys regenerated. I've seen cancer dissolve. I've seen eyesight improve and come back. I had been wearing reading glasses for about 3 years before I discovered the secret. One night, as I was tracing the knowledge of the secret back through the centuries, I found myself reaching for my glasses to see what I was reading, and I stopped in my tracks. The realization of what I'd done struck me like a lightning bolt. I had listened to society's message that eyesight diminishes with age. I'd watched people stretch their arms out so they could read something. I had given my thought to eyesight diminishing with age, and I brought it to me. I hadn't done it deliberately, but I had done it. I knew that what I brought into being with my thoughts I could change, so I immediately imagined myself seeing as clearly as I did when I was 21. I saw myself in dark restaurants, on planes, and on my computer reading clearly and effortlessly, and I said over and over, I can see clearly, I can see clearly. I felt the feelings of gratitude and excitement for having clear vision, and in 3 days my eyesight had been restored. Now I don't own reading glasses. I can see clearly. When I told Dr. Ben Johnson, one of the teachers of The Secret, about this, he said to me, "Do you realize what had to happen to your eyes for you to do that in 3 days?" I replied, "No, and thank goodness I didn't know, so that thought was not in my head. I just knew I could do it, and that I could do it fast." Dr. Johnson eliminated an incurable disease from his own body, so the restoration of my eyesight seemed like nothing to me compared with his own miracle story. In fact, I expected my eyesight to come back overnight, so 3 days was no miracle in my mind. Remember, time and size do not exist in the universe. It's as easy to heal a pimple as a disease. The process is identical. The difference is in our minds. So if you've attracted some affliction to you, reduce it in your mind to the size of a pimple, let go of all negative thoughts, and then focus on the perfection of health. I always say that incurable actually means curable from within. I believe and know that nothing is incurable. At some point in time, every so-called incurable disease has been cured. In my mind and in the world I create, incurable does not exist. There's plenty of room for you in this world, so come and join me and all who are here. In this world where miracles are everyday occurrences, it's a world overflowing with total abundance, where all good things exist now within you. Sounds like heaven, doesn't it? It is. You can change your life and you can heal yourself. Maurice Goodman, author and international speaker. My story begins on the 10th of March 1981. This day really changed my whole life. It was a day I'll never forget. I crashed an aeroplane. I ended up in the hospital completely paralysed. My spinal cord was crushed. I broke the first and second cervical vertebrae. My swallowing reflex was destroyed. I couldn't eat or drink. My diaphragm was destroyed. I couldn't breathe. All I could do was blink my eyes. The doctors, of course, said I'd be in a vegetative state the rest of my life. All I'd be able to do was blink my eyes. That's the picture that they saw of me, but it didn't matter what they thought. The main thing was what I thought. I pictured myself being a normal person again, walking out of that hospital. The only thing I had to work with in the hospital was my mind, and once you have your mind, you can put things back together again. I was hooked to a respirator, and they said I'd never breathe on my own again because my diaphragm was destroyed. But a little voice kept saying to me, breathe deeply, and finally I was weaned from it. They were at a loss for an explanation. I couldn't afford to allow anything to come into my mind that would distract me from my goal or my vision. I'd set a goal to walk out of the hospital at Christmas, and I did. I walked out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. They said it couldn't be done. That's a day I will never forget. For people who are sitting out there right now and they're hurting, if I wanted to sum up my life and sum up for people what they can do in life, I would sum it up in 6 words. Man becomes what he thinks about. Morris Goodman is known as the Miracle Man. His story was chosen for The Secret because it demonstrates the unfathomable power and unlimited potential of the human mind. Morris knew the power within him to bring about what he chose to think about. Everything is possible. Morris Goodman's story has inspired thousands of people to think, imagine, and feel their way back to health. He turned the greatest challenge of his life into the greatest gift. Since the film The Secret was released, we've been inundated with miracle stories of all types of diseases dissolving from people's bodies after they watch The Secret. All things are possible when you believe. On the subject of health, I would like to leave you with these illuminating words from Dr. Ben Johnson. We are now entering the era of energy medicine. Everything in the universe has a frequency, and all you have to do is change a frequency or create an opposite frequency. That's how easy it is to change anything in the world, whether that's disease or emotional issues or whatever that is. This is huge. This is the biggest thing that we have ever come across. Secret summaries. The placebo effect is an example of the law of attraction in action. When a patient truly believes the tablet is a cure, they receive what they believe and they're cured. Focusing on perfect health is something we can all do within ourselves, despite what may be happening on the outside. Laughter attracts joy, releases negativity, and leads to miraculous cures. Disease is held in the body by thought, by observation of the illness, and by attention given to the illness. If you're feeling a little unwell, don't talk about it unless you want more of it. If you listen to people talking about their illness, you add energy to their illness. Instead, change the subject to good things and give powerful thoughts to seeing people in health. Belief about aging is all in your head. So release those thoughts from your consciousness. Focus on health and eternal youth. Don't listen to society's messages about diseases and aging. Negative messages don't serve you. Chapter 8. The Secret to the World. People have a tendency to look at the things they want and say, yes, I like that, I want that. However, they also look at the things they don't want and they give those just as much energy, if not more, with the idea that they can stamp it out, they can eliminate it or obliterate it. In our society, we've become content with fighting against things, fighting against cancer or poverty or war. We tend to find everything we don't want, which actually creates more of a fight. Anything we focus on, we create. So if we're really angry, for instance, at a war that's going on, or strife or suffering, we're just adding energy to it. We're pushing ourselves, and that only creates resistance. And what you resist persists. The reason what you resist persists is because if you're resisting something, you're saying, no, I don't want this thing, because it makes me feel bad. So you're putting out a really strong emotion of, I really don't like this feeling. And then, of course, it comes racing towards you. Resistance to anything is like a boomerang, or like trying to change the outside pictures after they've been transmitted. It's a futile pursuit. You have to go within and emit a new signal with your thoughts and feelings to create new pictures. If you resist what's appeared, you're just adding more energy and more power to the things that you don't want. The anti-war movement creates more war. The anti-drug movement has actually created more drugs because we're focusing on what we don't want, drugs. People believe that if we really want to eliminate something, we have to focus on it. But how much sense does that make? Really, we should be spending that energy focusing on trust, love, living in abundance, education, or peace. Mother Teresa had it right. She said, I'll never attend an anti-war rally. But if you have a peace rally, invite me. She knew, she understood the secret. Look at what she manifested in the world. So if you're anti-war, be pro-peace instead. If you're anti-hunger, be pro-people having enough to eat. Everything in this world began with one thought. The bigger things get bigger because more people give their thoughts to it after it's appeared. Then those thoughts and emotions keep that very event in our existence and make it bigger. If we took our minds off it and focused instead on love, it couldn't exist. It would evaporate and disappear. Remember, and this is one of the most difficult as well as most wonderful statements to grasp, remember that no matter what the difficulty is, no matter where it is, no matter who is affected, you have no patient but yourself. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth which you desire to see manifested. It's okay to notice what you don't want, because that gives you the contrast to say, well, this is what I do want. But the fact is, the more you talk about what you don't want, or talk about how bad it is, or read about it all the time, well, you're just creating more of it. You can't help the world by focusing on negative things. As you focus on the negative events, you only add to them. When pictures have appeared of something you don't want, it's your cue to change your thinking and emit a new signal. If it's a world situation, you're not powerless. You have all the power. Focus on everyone being in joy or everyone having enough. Give your powerful thoughts to what's wanted. You have the ability to give so much to the world just by emitting feelings of love and well-being, despite what's happening around you. When I discovered the secret, I made a decision to not watch any news or read newspapers anymore because it didn't make me feel good. The news services and the newspapers are not in any way to blame for broadcasting bad news, but we just keep feeding the bad, and the newspapers just keep triggering us. The news services and newspapers will change what they deliver to us when we emit a new signal and focus on what we want. So learn to become still and to take your attention away from what you don't want and all the emotional charge around that, and place the attention instead on what you wish to experience. Energy flows where attention goes. Think truly, and your thoughts shall the world's famine feed. As you focus on the good things, you feel good, and you're bringing more good things into the world. It's a win-win-win. At the same time, you're bringing more good things into your own life. When you feel good, you uplift your life and you uplift the world. The law is perfection in operation. I always say, when the voice and the vision on the inside become more profound, clear and loud than the opinions on the outside, you've mastered your life. It's not your job to change the world or the people around you. It's your job to go with the flow inside the universe and celebrate it inside the world that exists. You are the master of your life, and the universe is answering your every command. So don't become mesmerized by the pictures that have appeared if they're not what you want. Take responsibility for them, make light of them if you can, and let them go. Then think new thoughts of what you want. Feel them and be grateful that it's done. One of the questions we ask is, if everybody uses the secret and they all treat the universe like a catalogue, aren't we going to run out of stuff? Won't everyone just make a run for it and bust the bank? Well, what's beautiful about the secret is that there's more than enough to go around for everybody. It's a lie that acts like a virus within the mind of humanity, and that lie is there's not enough to go around. There's lack, there's limitation, and there's just not enough. And that lie has people living in fear, greed, stinginess, and those thoughts of fear, greed, stinginess, and lack become their experience. So the world has taken a nightmare pill. The truth is, there's more than enough good to go around. More than enough power, love, joy. All of this begins to come through a mind that's aware of its own infinite nature. To think that there's not enough is to look at the outside pictures and think that everything comes from the outside. And when you do that, you'll most surely see lack and limitation. You now know that nothing comes into existence from the outside, and that everything first comes from thinking and feeling on the inside. Your mind is the creative power of all things, so how can there be any lack? It's impossible. Your ability to think is unlimited, and so the things you can think into existence are unlimited. And so it is with everyone. When you truly know this, you're thinking from a mind aware of its own infinite nature. Every great teacher who's ever walked the planet has told you that life was meant to be abundant. The essence of this law is that you must think abundance, see abundance, feel abundance, believe abundance. Let no thought of limitation enter your mind. The true story of the Belize Oil Team is that an inspiring example of the power of the human mind to bring forth resources. Basically, they drilled where people had been drilling for ages and no oil came, but they believed and they managed to make it happen. Even though we say we have lack, it's because we don't open up our vision and see all of what's around us. You know, when people start to live from their heart and go for what they want, they don't go for the same things. That's the beauty of this. We don't all want BMWs. We don't all want the same person. We don't all want the same experiences. We don't all want the same clothing. You are here on this glorious planet, endowed with this wonderful power to create your life. There are no limits to what you can create for you, because your ability to think is unlimited. But you can't create other people's lives for them. You can't think for them, and if you try to force your opinions on others, you'll only attract like forces to you. So let all others create the life they want. There's enough for everyone. If you believe it, if you can see it, if you can act from it, it will show up for you. That's the truth. If you have any lack, if you're prey to poverty or disease, it's because you don't believe or don't understand the power that's yours. It's not a question of the universe giving to you. It offers everything to everyone. There's no partiality. Yes, the universe offers all things to all people through the law of attraction. You have the ability to choose what you want to experience. Do you want there to be enough for you and everyone? Then choose that and know that there is abundance of all things. Everything that you want, all the joy, love, abundance, prosperity, bliss, it's there, ready for you to have. And all you've got to do is be hungry for it. You've got to be intentional, and when you become intentional and on fire for what you want, the universe will deliver every single thing you've been wanting. Recognize the beautiful and wonderful things around you, and bless and praise them. And on the other side, the things that aren't currently working the way you want them to, don't spend your energy faulting or complaining. Embrace everything that you want so you can get more of it. Praise and bless everything in your life. When you're praising or blessing, you're in the highest frequency of love. In the Bible, the Hebrews used the act of blessing to bring forth health, wealth, and happiness. They knew the power of blessing. For many people, the only time they've blessed someone was when they sneezed, and so they've not used one of the greatest powers to their full advantage. The dictionary defines blessing as invoking divine favor and conferring well-being or prosperity. So begin right now to invoke the power of blessing in your life and bless everything and everyone. Likewise with praising, for when you're praising something or someone you're giving love to, and as you emit that magnificent frequency, it will return to you 100-fold. Praising and blessing dissolves all negativity, so praise and bless your enemies. If you curse your enemies, the curse will come back to harm you. If you praise and bless them, you'll dissolve all negativity and discord, and the love and praising and blessing will return to you. As you praise and bless, you'll feel yourself shift into a new frequency with the feedback of good feelings. Most of the leaders of the past missed the great part of the secret, which is to empower and share with others. This is the best time to have ever been alive in history. It's the first time we've had the power to gain the knowledge at our fingertips. With this knowledge, you're becoming aware of the truth of the world and yourself. My greatest insights into the secret on the subject of the world came from the teachings of Robert Collier, Prentice Mulford, Charles Harnell, and Michael Bernard Beckwith. With that understanding came total freedom. I truly hope that you can come to that place of freedom too. If you can, then through your existence and the power of your thoughts, you'll bring the greatest good to the world and the future of all humankind. Secret summaries. What you resist persists, and what you resist you attract, because you're powerfully focused on it with emotion. To change anything, go within and emit a new signal with your thoughts and feelings. You can't help the world by focusing on negative things. As you focus on negative events, you only add to them. Instead of focusing on the world's problems, give your attention to energy and energy to trust, love, abundance, education and peace. We will never run out of good things because there's more than enough to go around for everybody. Life is meant to be abundant. You have the ability to tap into this unlimited supply through your thoughts and feelings and bring it into your experience. Praise and bless everything in the world, and you'll dissolve negativity and discord and align yourself with the highest frequency, love. Chapter 9. The Secret to You. When we look around us, even at our own bodies, what we see is the tip of the iceberg. Think of this for a moment. Look at your hand. It looks solid, but it's really not. If you put it under a proper microscope, you'd see a mass of energy vibrating. Everything is made up of the exact same thing, whether it's your hand, the ocean, or a star. Everything is energy, and let me help you understand that just a little bit. There's the universe, our galaxy, our planet, and then individuals, and then inside of this body are organ systems, then cells, then molecules, then atoms, and then there is energy. So there are a lot of levels to think about, but everything in the universe is energy. When I discovered the secret, I wanted to know what science and physics understood in terms of this knowledge. What I found was absolutely amazing. One of the most exciting things about living in this time is the discoveries of quantum physics and new science are in total harmony with the teachings of the secret, and with that all the great teachers have known throughout history. I've never studied science or physics at school, and yet when I read the complex books on quantum physics, I understood them perfectly because I wanted to understand them. The study of quantum physics helped me to have a deeper understanding of the secret on an energetic level. For many people, their belief is strengthened when they see the perfect correlation between the knowledge of the secret and the theories of new science. Let me explain how you're the most powerful transmission tower in the universe. In simple terms, all energy vibrates at a frequency. Being energy, you also vibrate at a frequency, and what determines your frequency at any time is whatever you're thinking and feeling. All the things you want are made of energy, and they're vibrating too. Everything is energy. And here's the important point. When you think about what you want and you emit that frequency, you cause the energy of what you want to vibrate at that frequency, and you bring it to you. As you focus on what you want, you're changing the vibration of the atoms of that thing, and you're causing it to vibrate towards you. The reason you're the most powerful transmission tower in the universe is because you've been given the power to focus your energy through your thoughts and alter the vibrations of what you're focused on, which then magnetically draws it to you. When you think about and feel those good things that you want, you've immediately tuned yourself to that frequency, which then causes the energy of all of those things to vibrate to you, and they appear in your life. The law of attraction says that like attracts like. You are an energy magnet, so you electrically energize everything to you and electrically energize yourself to everything you want. Human beings manage their own magnetizing energy because no one outside of them can think or feel for them, and it's thoughts and feelings that create those frequencies. Almost 100 years ago, without the benefit of all the scientific discoveries of the last 100 years, Charles Harnell knew how the universe operated. The universal mind is not only intelligence, but it is substance, and this substance is the attractive force which brings electrons together by the law of attraction, so they form atoms. The atoms turn and are brought together by the same law and form molecules. Molecules take objective forms, and so we find that the law is the creative force behind every manifestation, not only of atoms, but of worlds, of the universe, of everything of which imagination can form any conception. I don't care what city you're living in, you've got enough power in your body, potential power, to illuminate the whole city for nearly a week. To become conscious of this power is to become a live wire. The universe is the live wire. It carries power sufficient to meet every situation in the life of every individual. When the individual mind touches the universal mind, it receives all its power. Most people define themselves by this finite body, but you're not a finite body. Even under a microscope, you're an energy field. What we know about energy is this. You go to a quantum physicist and you say, "What creates the world?" And he or she will say, "Energy." Well, describe energy. Okay, it can never be created or destroyed. It always was, always has been. Everything that ever existed always exists. It's moving into form, through form, and out of form. If you go to a theologian and ask the question, "What created the universe?" he or she will say, "God." Okay, describe God. Well, God always was and always has been and never can be created or destroyed. All that ever was, all that will be, always moving into form, through form, and out of form. You see, it's the same description, just different terminology. So if you think you're this meat suit running around, think again. You're a spiritual being. You're an energy field operating in a larger energy field. So how does all of this make you a spiritual being? For me, the answer to that question is one of the most magnificent parts of the teachings of The Secret. You are energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. Energy just changes form, and that means you. The true essence of you, the pure energy of you, has always been and always will be. You can never not be. On a deep level, you know that. Can you imagine not being? Despite everything you've seen and experienced in your life, can you imagine not being? You can't imagine it because it's impossible. You are eternal energy. Quantum mechanics confirms it. Quantum cosmology confirms it. That the universe essentially emerges from the thought, and all of this matter around us is just precipitated thought. Ultimately, we are the source of the universe. And when we understand that power directly by experience, we can start to exercise our authority and begin to achieve more and more. Create anything, know anything from within the field of our own consciousness, which ultimately is universal consciousness that runs the universe. So depending on how we use that power, positively or negatively, that's the kind of body in terms of health. That's the kind of environment we create. So we are the creators, not only of our own destiny, but ultimately we are the creators of universal destiny. We are the creators of the universe. So there's no limit, really, to human potential. It's the degree to which we recognize those deep dynamics and exercise them, the degree to which we harness our power. And that really has to do, again, with the level at which we think. Some of the greatest teachers and avatars describe the universe in the same way as Dr. Hagelin, by saying that all that exists is the one universal mind, and there is nowhere that the one mind is not. It exists in everything. The one mind is all intelligence, all wisdom, and all perfection, and it's everything and everywhere all at the same time. If everything is the one universal mind, and the whole of you exists everywhere, then it is all in you. Let me help you understand what that means for you. It means that every possibility already exists. All knowledge, all discoveries, and all inventions of the future are in the universal mind as possibilities, waiting for the human mind to draw them forth. Every creation and invention in history has also been drawn from the universal mind, whether the person consciously knew that or not. How do you draw from it? Well, you do it through your awareness of it and by using your wonderful imagination. Look around you for needs waiting to be filled. Imagine if we had a great invention to do this, or imagine if we had a great invention to do that. Look for the needs and then imagine and think their fulfillment into being. You don't have to work out the discovery or the invention. The Supreme Mind holds that possibility. All you have to do is hold your mind on the end result and imagine filling the need, and you will call it into being. As you ask and feel and believe, you will receive. There's an unlimited supply of ideas waiting for you to tap into and bring forth. You hold everything in your consciousness. Divine Mind is the one and only reality. We're all connected. We just don't see it. There isn't an out there and an in here. Everything in the universe is connected. It's just one energy field. So whichever way you look at it, the result is still the same. We are one. We are all connected, and we're all part of the one energy field, or the one supreme mind, or the one consciousness, or creative source. Call it whatever you want. But we are all one. If you think about the law of attraction now, in terms of us all being one, you'll see its absolute perfection. You'll understand why your negative thoughts about someone else will return only harm to you. We are one. You can't be harmed unless you call harm into existence by emitting those negative thoughts and feelings. You have been given free will to choose, but when you think negative thoughts and have negative feelings, you're separating yourself from the one and all good. Think about every negative emotion there is, and you'll discover that every one of them is based in fear. They come from thoughts of separation and from seeing yourself as separate from another. Competition is an example of separation. First, when you have thoughts of competition, it's coming from a lack mentality. As you are saying, there's a limited supply that you have to compete for. You're saying there's not enough for everybody, and you must fight to get your share. When you compete, you can't ever win, even if you think you won. By the law of attraction, as you compete, you will attract many people and circumstances to compete against you in every single aspect of your life, and in the end, you will lose if you compete. We are all one, and so when you compete against you. You have to get competition out of your mind and become a creative mind. Focus only on your dreams, your visions, and take all competition out of the equation. The universe is the universal supply and supplier of everything. Everything comes from the universe and is delivered to you through people, circumstances, and events by the law of attraction. Think of the law of attraction as the law of supply. It's the law that enables you to draw from the infinite supply. When you emit the perfect frequency of what you want, the perfect people, circumstances, and events will be attracted to you and delivered. It's not people who are giving you the things you desire. If you hold that false belief, you'll experience lack because you're looking at the outside world and people as the supply. The true supply is the invisible field, whether you call that the universe, the supreme mind, God, infinite intelligence, or whatever else. Whenever you receive anything, remember that you attracted it to you by the law of attraction and by being on the frequency and in harmony with the universal supply. The universal intelligence, which pervades everything, moved people, circumstances, and events to give that thing to you because that's the law. We often get distracted with this thing called our body and our physical being, but that just holds your spirit. And your spirit is so big it fills a room. You are eternal life. You are God manifested in human form, made to perfection. Scripturally, we could say that we are the image and the likeness of God. We could say that we're another way the universe is becoming conscious of itself. We could say that we're the infinite field of unfolding possibility. All of that would be true. Because 99% of who you are is invisible and untouchable. Buckminster Fuller. You are God in physical body. You are spirit in the flesh. You are eternal life expressing itself as you. You are a cosmic being. You are all power. You are all wisdom. You're all intelligence and perfection. You are magnificence. You are the creator, and you are creating the creation of you on this planet. Every tradition has told you that you were created in the image and likeness of the creative source. That means that you have God potential and power to create your world, and you are. Maybe you've created things to this point that are wonderful and worthy of you, and maybe you haven't. The question I'd ask you to consider is, are the results you have in your life what you really want? Are they worthy of you? If they're not worthy of you, then wouldn't now be the right time to change those? Because you have the power to do that. All power is from within and therefore under our control. You are not your past. A lot of people feel like they're victims in life, and they'll often point to past events, perhaps growing up with an abusive parent or in a dysfunctional family. Most psychologists believe that about 85% of families are dysfunctional, so all of a sudden you're not so unique. My parents were alcoholics. My dad abused me. My mother divorced him when I was 6. I mean, that's almost everybody's story in some form or other. The real question is, what are you going to do now? What do you choose now? Because you can either keep focusing on that, or you can focus on what you want. And when people start focusing on what they want, what they don't want falls away, and what they want expands, and the other part disappears. A person who sets their mind on the dark side of life, who lives over and over the misfortunes and disappointments of the past, prays for similar misfortunes and disappointments in the future. If you see nothing but ill luck in the future, you are praying for such ill luck and will surely get it. If you go back over your life and focus on the difficulties from the past, you're just bringing more difficult circumstances to you now. So let it all go, no matter what it is. Do it for you. If you hold a grudge or blame someone for something in the past, you're only harming you. You are the only one who can create the life you deserve. As you deliberately focus on what you want, as you begin to radiate good feelings, the law of attraction will respond. All you have to do is make a start, and as you do, you will unleash the magic. You are the designer of your destiny. You are the author. You write the story. The pen is in your hand, and the outcome is whatever you choose. The beautiful thing about the law of attraction is that you can begin where you are, and you can begin to think real thinking, and you can begin to generate within yourself a feeling tone of harmony and happiness. The law will begin to respond to that. So now you start to have different beliefs like, there's more than enough in the universe. Or you have the belief that, I'm not getting older, I'm getting younger. We can create it the way we want it by using the law of attraction. And you can break yourself free from your hereditary patterns, cultural codes, social beliefs, and prove once and for all that the power within you is greater than the power within the world. You may be thinking, well, that's very nice, but I can't do that. Or she won't let me do that. He'll never let me do that. I haven't got enough money to do that. Or I'm not strong enough to do that. Or I'm not rich enough to do that. Or I'm not. Every single I'm not is a creation. So take heed. It's a good idea to become aware when you say I'm not, and to think about what you're creating as you say it. A powerful insight shared by Dr. Wolf has been equally documented by all the great teachers within the power of the words I am. When you say I am, the words that follow are summoning creation with a mighty force, because you are declaring it to be fact. You are stating it with certainty. And so immediately after you say, I am tired, or I am broke, or I'm sick, or I'm late, I'm overweight, I'm old, the genie says, your wish is my command. Knowing this, wouldn't it be a good idea to begin to use the two most powerful words, I am, to your advantage? How about, I am receiving every good thing. I am happy. I am abundant. I am healthy. I am love. I am always on time. I am eternal youth. I am filled with energy every single day. I am 12 stone. I am earning £80,000 a year. In his book, The Master Key System, Charles Harnell claims that there's an affirmation that incorporates every single thing any human being can want, and that this affirmation will bring about harmonious conditions to all things. He adds, the reason for this is because the affirmation is in strict accordance with the truth, and when truth appears, in every form of error or discord must necessarily disappear. The affirmation is this: I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. If it sounds like work to drag what you want out of the invisible and into the visible, try this shortcut. See what you want as absolute fact. This will manifest what you want with the speed of light. The second you ask, it is fact in the universal spiritual field, and that field is all that exists. When you conceive something in your mind, know it as a fact, and there can be no question about its manifestation. There's no limit to what this law can do for you. Dare to believe in your own ideal. Think of the ideal as an already accomplished fact. When Henry Ford was bringing his vision of the motor vehicle into our world, people around him ridiculed him and thought he'd gone mad to pursue such a wild vision. But Henry Ford knew much more than the people who ridiculed him. He knew the secret, and he knew the law of the universe. Whether you think you can, or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. So do you think you can? You can achieve and do anything you want with this knowledge. In the past, you may have underestimated how brilliant you are. Well, now you know you are the supreme mind, and that you can draw anything you want from the one supreme mind. Any invention, any inspiration, any answer, anything. You can do anything you want. You're a genius beyond description, so start telling yourself that and become aware of who you really are. Are there any limits to this? Absolutely not. We are unlimited beings. We have no ceiling. There is no floor. The capabilities and the talents and the gifts and the power that is within every single individual that's on the planet is unlimited. So be aware of your thoughts. All of your power is in your awareness of that power and through holding that power in your consciousness. Your mind can be like a runaway steam train if you let it. It can take you off to thoughts of the past and then take you off to thoughts of the future by taking bad past events and projecting those into your future. These out of control thoughts are creating too. When you're aware, you're in the present and you know what you're thinking. You've gained control of your thoughts, and that's where all your power is. So how do you become more aware? One way is to stop and ask yourself, what am I thinking now? What am I feeling? The moment you ask, you become aware because you've brought your mind back to the present moment. Whenever you think of it, bring yourself back to the awareness of now. Do it hundreds of times each day because remember, all of your power is in your awareness of your power. Michael Bernard Beckwith sums up the awareness of this power when he says, remember to remember. Those words have become the theme song of my life. To help myself become more aware, so I would remember to remember. To help myself become more aware, so that I would remember to remember, I ask the universe to give me a gentle nudge to bring me back to the present whenever my mind has taken over and is having a party at my expense. That gentle nudge happens by me bumping myself or dropping something, a loud noise or a siren or an alarm going off. All of these things are signals to me that my mind has taken off and to come back to the present. When I receive these signals, I stop immediately and ask myself, What am I thinking right now? What am I feeling? Am I aware? And of course, in the moment I do that, I am aware. The very moment you ask yourself if you're aware, you're there. You are aware. The real secret of power is consciousness of power. As you become aware of the power of the secret and begin to use it, all of your questions will be answered. As you begin to have a deeper understanding of the law of attraction, you can start to make asking questions a habit. And as you do, you'll receive the answer to each one. You can begin by using this book for that very purpose. If you're seeking an answer or guidance on something in your life, ask the question, believe you'll receive, and then open this book randomly. At the exact place where the pages fall open will be the guidance and answer that you're seeking. The truth is that the universe has been answering you all of your life, but you can't receive the answers unless you're aware. Be aware of everything around you because you're receiving the answers to your questions in every moment of the day. The channels those answers come through are unlimited. They could be delivered in the form of a newspaper headline that attracts your attention, or overhearing someone speaking, or a song on the radio, or signage on a truck passing by, or receiving sudden inspiration. Remember to remember and become aware. I've found in my own life and in others' lives that we don't think well of ourselves or love ourselves completely. To not love ourselves can keep us from what we want. And when we don't love ourselves, we're literally pushing things away from ourselves. Everything we want, whatever it may be, is motivated by love. It's to experience the feelings of love in having those things: youth, money, the perfect person, job, body, or health. To attract the things we love, we must transmit love, and those things will appear immediately. The catch is, to transmit the highest frequency of love, you must love yourself, and that can be difficult for many. If you focus on the outside and what you see now, you may trip yourself up because what you see and feel about you now is the result of what you used to think. If you don't love you, the person you see now is likely to be full of faults that you have found in yourself. To love yourself fully, you must focus on a new dimension of you. You must focus on the presence inside of you. Take a moment and sit still. Focus on feeling the life presence inside you. As you focus on the presence within, it will begin to reveal itself to you. It's a feeling of pure love and bliss, and it is perfection. That presence is the perfection of you. That presence is the real you. As you focus on that presence, as you feel, love, and praise that presence, you will love yourself fully, quite possibly for the first time in your life. Anytime you look at yourself with critical eyes, switch your focus immediately to the presence within, and its perfection will reveal itself to you. As you do this, all imperfections that have manifested in your life will dissolve, because imperfections can't exist in the light of this presence. Whether you want to regain perfect eyesight, dissolve disease, restore well-being, turn poverty into abundance, reverse aging and degeneration, eradicate any negativity, focus on and love the presence within you, and perfection will manifest. The absolute truth is that the I is perfect and complete. The real I is spiritual and can therefore never be less than perfect. It can never have any lack, limitation, or disease. Secret summaries. Everything is energy. You are an energy magnet, so you electrically energize everything to you and electrically energize yourself to everything you want. You are a spiritual being. You are energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. It just changes form. Therefore, the pure essence of you has always been and always will be. The universe emerges from thought. We are the creators not only of our own destiny, but also of the universe. An unlimited supply of ideas is available to you. All knowledge, discoveries, and inventions are in the universal mind as possibilities, waiting for the human mind to draw them forth. You hold everything in your consciousness. We are all connected, and we are all one. Let go of difficulties from your past, cultural codes and social beliefs. You are the only one who can create the life you deserve. A shortcut to manifesting your desires is to see what you want as absolute fact. Your power is in your thoughts, so stay aware. In other words, remember to remember. Chapter 10. The Secret to Life. There's no big blackboard in the sky on which God has written your purpose or your mission in life. There's no blackboard that says, so-and-so, handsome person who lived in the first part of the 20th century who ... And all I have to do to understand what I'm doing here, why I'm here, is to find that blackboard and go and find out what God really has in mind for me. But that blackboard does not exist. So your purpose is what you say it is. Your mission is the mission you give yourself. Your life will be what you create it as, and no one will stand in judgment of it, now or ever. You get to fill the blackboard of your life with whatever you want. If you filled it with baggage from the past, wipe it clean. Erase everything from the past that doesn't serve you, and be grateful it brought you to this place now, and to a new beginning. You have a clean slate, and you can start again, right here, right now. Find your joy and live it. It took years for many of us to get to this point, but because we grew up very much with this idea that there was something we were supposed to do, and if we weren't doing it, God wouldn't be happy, well, but when we really understood that our primary aim is to feel and experience joy, then we can begin to do only those things which bring us joy. You can have a saying, if it isn't fun, don't do it. Joy, love, freedom, happiness, laughter. That's what it is. And if you just experience joy sitting there and meditating for an hour, go and do it. If you experience joy eating a salami sandwich, then do that. When I stroke my cat, I'm in a state of joy. When I walk in nature, I'm in a state of joy. So I want to constantly put myself in that state. And when I do, all I have to do is have the intention of what I want, and what I want manifests. Do the things that you love, and that will bring you joy. And that bring you joy. If you don't know what brings you joy, ask the question, what is my joy? And as you find it, commit yourself to it. And the law of attraction will pour an avalanche of joyful things, people, circumstances, events, and opportunities into your life, all because you're radiating joy. Inner happiness is actually the fuel of success. So be happy now. Feel good now. That's the only thing you have to do. And if that's the only thing you get from reading this book, then you've received the greatest part of the secret. Anything that makes you feel good is always going to be drawing in more of that. You're reading this book right now, and it's you that drew this into your life. And it's your choice whether you want to take it and utilize it if it feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, then let it go. Find something that feels good, that resonates with your heart. The knowledge of the secret is being given to you, and what you do with it is entirely in your hands. Whatever you choose for you is right. Whether you choose to use it or whether you choose not to use it, you get to choose. The freedom of choice is yours. Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls before. When you follow your bliss, you live in a constant space of joy. You open yourself to the abundance of the universe. You're excited to share your life with those you love, and your excitement, your passion, and your bliss become contagious. Joe Vitale. That's what I'm doing almost all of the time, following my excitement, my passion, my enthusiasm, and I'm doing that throughout my day. Bob Proctor. Enjoy life, because life is phenomenal. It's a magnificent trip. You'll live in a different reality, a different life, and people will look at you and say, what are you doing that's different from me? Well, the only thing that's different is that you work with the secret. And then you can do and have and be things that people once said is impossible for you to do and have and be. We're now really moving into a new era. It's the era where the last frontier is not space, like in Star Trek, but it's the mind. I see a future of unbounded potential, unbounded possibilities. Remember, we're using at most 5% of the potential of the human mind. 100% human potential is the result of proper education. So imagine a world where people are using their full mental and emotional potential. We could go anywhere. We could do anything, achieve anything. This time on our glorious planet is the most exciting time in history. We're going to see and experience the impossible becoming possible in every field of human endeavour and on every subject. As we let go of all thoughts of limitation and know that we're unlimited, we'll experience the limitless magnificence of humankind expressed through sport, health, art, technology, science, and every single field of creation. Embrace your magnificence. See yourself with the good that you desire. Every religious book tells us that. Every great book on philosophy, every great leader, all the avatars who ever lived. Go back and study the wise ones. Many of them have been presented to you in this book. They all understand one thing. They understand the secret. And now you understand it. And the more you use it, the more you'll understand it. The secret is within you. The more you use the power within you, the more you'll draw it to you. You'll reach a point where you won't need to practice anymore because you'll be the power. You'll be the perfection. You will be the wisdom. You'll be the intelligence, the love, and the joy. You have to come to this juncture in your life merely because something in you kept saying, you deserve to be happy. You were born to add something, to add value to this world, to simply be something bigger and better than you were today. Every single thing you've been through, every single moment that you've come through, were all to prepare you for this moment right now. Imagine what you can do from this day forward with what you now know. Now you get that you are creator of your destiny. How much more do you get to do? How much more do you get to be? How many more people do you get to bless simply by your mere existence? What will you do with the moment? How will you seize it? No one else can dance your dance or sing your song. No one else can write your story. Who you are, what you do, begins right now. I believe that you're great, that there's something magnificent about you, regardless of what's happened to you in your life, regardless of how young or old you think you might be. The moment you begin to think properly, this something that's within you, this power that's within you that's greater than the world, it'll begin to emerge. It'll take over your life. It will feed you and clothe you. It will guide you, protect you, direct you, sustain your very existence, if you let it. Now, that's what I know for sure. The earth turns on its orbit for you. The oceans ebb and flow for you. The birds sing for you, etc., etc., etc. Take a look around. None of it can exist without you. No matter who you thought you were, you now know the truth of who you really are. You're the master of the universe. You're the heir to the kingdom. You're the perfection of life. And now you know the secret. May the joy be with you. The secret is the answer to all that has been, all that is, and all that ever will be. Secret summaries. You get to fill the blackboard of your life with whatever you want. The only thing you need to do is feel good now. The more you use the power within you, the more you'll draw through you. The time to embrace your magnificence is now. We are in the midst of a glorious era. As we let go of limiting thoughts, we'll experience humanity's true magnificence in every area of creation. Do what you love, and if you don't know what brings you joy, ask. As you commit to your joy, you'll attract an avalanche of joyful things because you're radiating joy. Now you've learned the knowledge of the secret. What you do with it is up to you. Whatever you choose is right. The power is all